Hey everybody, it's Chan Chai. We're gonna go ahead and do some sparring with BlurringM, and it's been a day, and we're having a good weekend so far. Daughter's enjoying her birthday, and yeah, I'm enjoying the VF a little bit. I haven't played that much. I did play a little yesterday, but it's gonna be awesome to be doing some sparring with Blurring. So let's see how that goes, and I hope everyone's doing wonderful. I'm gonna give Blurring a call right now. Let's see. You might know. Hey, how you doing? Can you hear me okay?
I'm doing alright. Just taking a break from packing.
Okay, that's right. You got a move going on, or something.
Yeah, I'm packing up like bit by bit.
Okay, awesome. Did you get a room set up?
Yeah, I got the room set up. Sent it to your message.
Okay.
And the password is 2323.
2323. All right. Let me see here. All right. I couldn't find the room, but I'll double check again.
Thank you. You could join off my name too. You could bypass that, which is I found out.
Yeah. Let me let me jump around here. So. Well, where I've got like 500 people on my list, so let's see here. All right, here we go. All right, we're joining now.
Alright. I wonder how that was gonna work.
Yeah. Let's see here. All right, I'll bring out Leon. So yeah, how's the VF been going? And I saw you had a good Tekken 8 tournament. So.
Yeah, surprisingly, everybody called me the VF guy now.
It's easier
What are you doing here?
it's easier to remember people by the exception as opposed to the rule. So.
Yeah.
Round one.
Let's see.
Ready, go!
That's right. Interesting choice.
Knockout.
Step that wrong.
Alright, yeah. Well, that one looks like you were crouched, so.
Ready, go!
One of the biggest threats to Vanessa is Leon's 4-6K, just because it's got a lot of carry and good damage.
Ready, go!
I like that Vanessa's got those mids in her strings though. Called this low kick out, which is really good.
Yeah, it's hard to, with Leon, it's hard to like differentiate if you haven't been fighting him in a while. Like his mids, because he's very deceptive in some ways, in my opinion.
Yeah, he is.
So it's like I have to focus on like what's going on there, and it's a lot. It's quite a lot.
Round one.
That's the concept of the Mantis style fighting, right?
Yeah, right.
Like that is part of the theme. That this is a very unusual stance. You know, most martial arts try to base themselves on the tiger or some kind of bird. No.
Knockout.
Yeah, another way it's just like straight deceptive. Like, hey, look.
Well, Mantis is just in a very non-human pose, you know.
Ready, go!
Buffered it.
All good. Well, this wasn't a bad idea, so.
Yeah, it wasn't a bad idea. I kind of hesitated.
Like, it's important to identify, like, it's okay to, if you had a good idea, that's not a bad thing, even if it didn't pan out.
True.
But understanding why it didn't pan out, of course, is priority one. Very nice. So that was back throw, right? When you jump up and do an arm bar, that's like a that's
Yeah, back throw.
It's like half circle back. Nice. Very nice. Very nice. I like that one.
Like, that was like,
Alright. Well, so far you've gotten neutral twice on the tackle.
Round 5. Ready, go!
I like these. That was really good. Very good. Good game. So why do you go for neutral first?
because usually everyone breaks forward, but usually mostly when I do tackles mostly,
Yeah.
like everyone usually goes for forward or back, and
Okay.
no one ever pays attention to the neutral.
So you're doing it just because you want to win the situation.
Yeah, I'm not really doing it as like in terms of like mind game.
Right.
Like
But
if I
here's what I would tell you though. I would tell you that that's fine, but what you're getting from the tackle though is like your lowest reward. Okay?
Yeah.
But you're concerned about that you don't want to just miss that damage, right? That's the reason you do it. But what I would say is, you know, if people are doing forward or back, it is information to know which one they're doing. And if you do, or at least which direction they're not doing, even. So either of those two information is really good, combined with the potential damage. So I would say, in my view, if that's the logic, I would probably go with like just do back if most people are doing forward. But actually, there's higher upside if you do forward, and just know if that's what they're actually escaping. So you either know they're escaping it because they escaped it, or you got the high damage, in which case you know they didn't escape it, and you know there's an opportunity to do the higher damage. So both of those outcomes are not too bad in the course of a full match. Very nice. I like the low throw.
Thank you.
Keeping them honest. Alright, here we go.
Yes, I'm good. I didn't see the distance for a second. I got blinded by the light.
Yeah. Well, I did something very tricky here too, so
Round 4.
I was like, I think it
Yeah,
was,
like, oh shit.
Go!
I'm gonna hide too much. That's the only thing I do have an issue with is like understanding the line throw game, and it's been like a long of an issue.
so the combo throw is forward. Most throws are forward. Back throw, you're only really worried about him jumping on your chest. So you only really have to worry about that. If he does do just the regular 4P plus G where he trips you down, it looks like his neutral throw, but that one does give a down attack. But if he's going to do the back direction, it's going to be jumping on your chest. So this is just an evade right here. So I just evaded this. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, like they do that at 19.
Ready, go!
Good.
Knockout!
A wall trap. Okay.
So, but in this case, it was just more like if you were, yeah, I just happened to get you. It was half circular.
Ready, go!
We should figure out like where the stagger point is, where it's gonna receive the inputs on the.
Yeah. I think that's the only issue that like I'm like, okay, I got staggered, I'm breaking it, but like then too, it's like
The timing, yeah. So usually, looking for an animation cue is my advice for it. On like Vanessa's animation cue. I thought I got that. Very good. Very good.
ooh, I tried it.
Knockout.
Very good choice.
Yeah, I tried it. I ain't gonna lie.
Round 2. Ready, go.
It did forward punch.
Knockout.
That 5,000 cuts.
Round 3. Ready, go.
Very good.
Ring out. Round 4.
Better.
Ready, go.
$3K.
6K, yeah. This is 6K. Counter hits on.
No, yeah.
Yeah, a lot of Leon players don't use it enough, but that's because there's a lot of kick sabakis in the game. But I'm using it because it's gonna punish your 1P. Because it's, but if you, of course, for you, I think it's 4-6K is the sabaki against this.
Yeah, I'm not gonna have like that's a little bit of some
It's a hard read. It's a very hard read.
Round 1.
Yeah.
That's why I'm not trying to go for my spot too much. I'm just trying to fight speed with you.
Right.
The conversions off that nuts.
What's that? Yeah.
Round 2. Ready, go.
Very nice.
Yeah, that's all I kind of get worried about. All like
Yeah.
neutral.
So forward throw is definitely a big threat. You don't want to let him get away with it. Very nice.
Knockout.
Very nice.
Thank you.
Round 4. Ready, go.
Okay.
Knockout.
It's gonna negate the 2P as well. Okay.
Well, as long as I've got advantage, right? So it's just a it's a counter hit launcher. So
Oh, I didn't know you had that until now.
yeah, because there's a lot of reasons to use his uppercut, but if someone's trying to disrupt his uppercut, then this is a good substitute. But because there's a lot of kick sabakis in the game, not as many Leon players use it. But also because of the evade punishability of it,
Round 1. Ready,
it's more evade punishable than like uppercut. So it's a really good move though. Like I do think not enough Leon players use it. So.
Oh, I messed that up.
knockout.
Very nice.
Thank you.
Round 2. Ready, go.
That's the Leon stuff. Very good. Stagger is excellent.
Thank you.
Round 3. Ready, go!
Well, okay.
Nice delay. Oh, I thought I got this. Really good one.
Yeah, I thought evade. I was like, well, I might as well not get.
It's not an evade, but it's similar. But it's just, yeah.
Yeah, I thought something like either was. Oh, I didn't hear nothing. I was just
No,
like,
it's Leon has a special step, so
Oh, okay. So
it's a
you-
manual. It's like a stance. You can think of it as a stance. So yeah.
Round 1. Ready, go!
Like that. So
Knockout. Round 2. Ready, go!
What? That was a weird interaction.
you might have seen some rollback or something.
Ready,
Yeah.
go! Excellent! What a knucklehead! Round 1. Ready, go! Knockout!
Was able to maximize a lot of that conversion.
Yeah.
Round 2. Ready, go!
That's like Leon's 2K. It ignores EX high. So even though you hopped over it, I was at least able to knock
Yeah,
it.
I remember you telling me that. I was like, oh,
Yeah.
Round 3. Ready, go!
I need to start using the specific thing more because there's stuff I just cannot keep up with. And I'm trying, but it's very hard to keep up with certain things, especially like the lows are very pesky.
They are. That's part of his game, right? Is to get you thinking a lot about those lows. But yeah.
Yeah, especially 1K if you don't block it properly.
But definitely in today's sparring session, you want to try to escape a forward throw more.
Okay.
Knockout!
So I just did this, which crouched him in time to avoid the throw.
Round 2.
So
Ready, go!
very nice.
Not enough got nerfed.
Oh, that was good. I happen to pick the right thing for the moment.
Round 3. Ready, go!
Nice. I like that. Good. I'm glad I ducked the uppercut. I'm glad the uppercut's a high. So.
Like, cause I thought about it for a second. I'm like, okay, yeah, I have to, like, I cannot, like, hesitate on my tools at all.
Yeah.
Like, I have to be moving, but it's very tough. But
It's tough. It is tough, though. I mean, doing like commitments and stuff.
yeah,
Round 1.
Hey, Von Doom, thank you so much for the raid. It's been, I've been doing good. I hope you've been doing really well. It's been a while since our last chat, but I hope you've been doing really great. I know she's a Tekken player, and she had, she's also a good dancer. Like, I think belly dancing is her forte, and she is like, she played Ali for a bit too.
oh,
Yeah. So yeah, Bonnie Von Doom is awesome. Really, really nice. So I really appreciate her sending the raid, and I hope she's just been doing awesome.
yeah, I think I know that name.
Yeah,
Lily player? I know she's a streamer.
I think that's yeah, she is a streamer. Yeah, I think that's true. I think she did play Lily.
Yeah, I know she's a streamer.
Yeah, she's really cool. I met her through BK. VF5REVO. I don't know if you know BK. He's also a Tekken player.
Yeah, so many Tekken players now. They're like, well.
Yeah. Very nice. No, that was good patience. Good, just staying out of range and waiting for it.
Ready, go!
Man, got my phone number on that one. Oh, wait. Oh, wait. Man, these two are already happy.
I was like, yeah, the problem with 9P is it is actually slow. Gosh, I like that thing will get out of range of that. Minus 13. Oh, I love that uppercut, that high elbow. Good throw, good throw.
Thank you.
That's like a big difference between now and when the first year you started, which was the first year you started, you didn't throw nearly enough.
Yeah, now I'm just like throwing and I'm like, okay, I'm like kind of a little bit more adaptive.
It's really good.
Yeah.
Well, your throw directions are good. The downside for your throw directions is that they're kind of based on like you have a pattern of doing them, like of preferring certain throws after you do certain things. Like depending on how the throw is set up, you kind of have a preference on which throw you're gonna do. But you mix it up. But you do mix it up enough to where that's not a complete liability. But I would say more often than not, that's what you are doing. So, and I do that too. So that's something that we have to watch out for ourselves. Is when the opponent adapts, do we just flip it over? You know, if we're gonna do that. That was really nice.
Okay, I was thinking I could interrupt that. Just a little bit better. I should have finished it.
If you were stubborn and did the 1P a second time, you would have won.
Yeah, like on that stunt combo, I could have finished it. I just was not sure on the range.
Thanks. I think you had the right idea. If you had, I think it's just that this kick came out too slow, like late.
But
Too
6K,
late.
yeah, 6K is like 15.
Want a
So, yeah.
serious fight?
There's only,
Round 1.
1 second here. I apologize.
Ready, go!
Forgot to set this to the multi-stream chat. All right. Okay. Let's go ahead. Nice use of the EX highs.
Knockout! Round 2. Ready, go!
Yeah, I'm kind of used to getting wrung out so quickly,
Round 3.
which is frustrating.
Ready, go!
Very good. I like that.
Yeah, I'm doing like that's.
Knockout!
Oh my god, it just stopped.
Oh,
No, I did a 14 up, about to do a shoulder, it just stopped. I was like, oh. I was about to do a shoulder on that.
What a
It's challenging, even though that's been a bad challenge.
yeah. But the weakness for, of course, not just the kick sabakis, but the real weakness for this 6K is evade punishment. So
Which way the? Just either way.
either way, it's completely in there. Very nice. Excellent.
Knockout!
Very good.
Thank you.
Round 2. Ready, go!
Nice.
Knockout!
This was, you were dead the moment I got this half circular here.
Yeah. I was back turn. I was like, alright, so this is getting diabolical.
This is a fun combo. I can teach you how to do those. But they're fun.
Overture.
I almost wrung myself out. I almost wrung myself out.
Knockout! Round 4. Ready, go!
I do love how that thing destroys rising attack. So good. So don't rising attacks against Vanessa.
Round 5. Ready, go!
You're trying to challenge that.
Knockout!
Alright, really good round. Good game.
Thank you.
Wow, it was ridiculous.
I have to trust myself for a bit.
I'll show you the evil Leon backturn combos in the future. But
Well, let me see. Like, yeah, no. Let me see if I can stop this right now.
nah, you'll be able to stop it. It's too slow. Like he has to use speed. He has to really like. It's hard for him to set it up. Leah, like Akira, is scary. Akira just needs like +7. that guaranteed after this kick hits? When you get this kick, oh, counter hit, yeah, must be.
Yeah, guaranteed.
Go!
Alright, so doing those techniques will not work out. I like that. I like that evade setup. So good. Really, really nice.
Round 3.
Hey,
Ready?
be careful.
Go!
You ain't an easy photo kill.
Yep.
Nice.
Thanks.
My hesitation.
Round 4. Ready? Go!
I see.
Double wide.
Knockout!
Yeah, the double wall hit that actually threw me off.
Round 5.
This should actually be something.
Go!
Half delay. Ooh!
That was a fun one to do. It's like just under it. Getting just underneath that, but it was just the range was right. I was like, oh, I think the range is right.
It was just a little bit close there. Just a little shame.
It's fun. It's what I love about VF.
Yeah, it's just the possibilities of like just things going down, and it's just like, man, like
Yeah, and
Round 1.
almost all moves are really good in this game, in my opinion. So. Really nice.
nice.
Yeah, he's got a hit throw. It's a little tricky to do, so not many Leon players use it, but it's good. It's good if they like, especially people that like to stay crouching. It's really good.
Ready? Go!
You keep me entertained.
Knockout! Round 3. Ready? Go! Knockout! Round 4. Ready? Go!
Nice.
Ring out!
The ode to Vanessa's late.
If you break the if you get used to breaking that stagger, it's a big deal. It'll cut off a lot of stuff.
Yeah, that's what I'm trying to get faster at it. And it's just that I don't really see it often. I only see Rental do it.
It's a really good move. It's too good. I mean, it's one of those where like they need to. It's a good
Round
move.
1.
So
Ready? Go!
Like, I don't know why I'm doing that.
Round 2. Ready, go!
I believe.
It's really nice though.
Knockout.
Very nice. Thought you'd go low through here, but it's good.
I
Ready,
think you've broken out a little, bro. I just can't let you get far away from me though. That's one thing I cannot let you do.
round 4.
So I gotta stay in like a certain pocket or a sweet spot where to Vanessa's weight.
Yeah, the 4-6K is just too good of a move against Vanessa. So
I mean, a lot of stuff just carries out the ring.
they do.
It's just
That's why Leon is the ring out master. So, like everyone's like, "What about Kage?" It's like Kage needs a throw. I mean, he's good at conversion and he's good at getting them there, but Leon really rings people out, like just by attack. But
Knockout. Round 2. Ready, go! Knockout.
no.
because you evaded, I was not back turned this time. So
Round 3. Ready, go!
And disrupt that a little bit better with that uppercut's doing a lot of mileage, yeah.
Knockout.
you're doing really good though. Really good. There's a lot of good spot stuff that you're doing. Oh,
Yeah, it's just tough. It's tough.
let's see.
But I need this type of training to actually see where I was at and see what I can do and what I can't do.
Round 1. Ready, go!
Oh, okay.
Knockout. Round 2. Ready, go!
That's what's at.
Ring out.
It's like Leon's ring out ability because he can manually control the direction of this.
Yeah, that uppercut, I have to like pay attention to very well because you have two.
Yes. Both of them, if you block, is Nitaku though. So
Yeah, like when I try to it's a very strong bar tool, so it's like, well, all right, I have to be aware of it, but then too, I often forget about it.
yeah.
Knockout.
Because it's such a strong tool to be like,
Alright.
Round 4.
Well, and it's his fastest counter hit launcher, right? So it's like he just needs +3. That was really nice. Too bad you didn't get the tackle, but that was really good though.
Yeah, I'm like kind of concealing the tackle a little bit.
Knockout.
Very nice. Good choice here too. It's like struck in like a Jeffrey player.
Ready, go!
And old to Vanessa's late.
Yeah, it was all counter hit setup, right? Counter hit after counter
Yeah,
hit.
like once I saw that, I was like, okay, I'm out.
Yeah.
Forgot to train, eh?
But in this second set though, the good thing is you're doing more mids than highs. You're toning down some of the highs, and because that is one of the weak points for Vanessa, is how many highs she's gonna likely do. Nice, not hitting a button during that. Oh, I like that choice too.
Knockout.
Whoop, boom.
Round two. Ready, go!
I like that 1P choice.
Thank you.
So good. That was really good.
Both of that wrong.
Knockout.
Very good.
Both of that really wrong. Like, 'cause I was trying to go for the
Round three.
three pills KK.
Oh, I like that.
Knockout.
Ooh, okay. Cause I'm plus 2 there.
Round four.
No,
Are you? Okay.
Ready, go!
What are you minus on that? Oh, nice. Oh, nice choice.
Knockout.
Thanks.
Round five. Ready, go! Knockout.
Yeah, after this side turn PKP, he's like plus 2. So,
Okay. So no, basically really nothing I can do really.
you could uppercut if I do elbow. So, yeah. But not really.
Will it reach in time is a question, not like it's a trick question.
Well, I mean, if I do the elbow, you'll counter hit the uppercut. But maybe not because the elbow is like.
Because of the side turn, like, you know, really weak in time. And I'm like, nah.
No, well, it doesn't, that plus those 3 frames don't affect attacks. They only affect like defensive options. So they only affect like reversals, guard, and sidestepping. And from side turn movement, like hopping too, but the back turn doesn't affect it because they have hop options when that are instant when they're back turn.
Ready, go! Knockout.
Nice.
Thanks.
Round three.
Ain't too predictable that.
Ready, go!
That was so cool. Woohoo! That's perfect. I was like, this was lined up perfectly. So,
Ready, go! Knockout!
like, I was able to see and guess correctly all throughout the whole round, so I was like, yes.
I want a serious fight!
Yep, Jay Busy, Vanessa is indeed the Savaki Queen. It's good to have you in the chat. Welcome. Nice to have you now that I'm streaming also on YouTube. So, hope you're doing really, really good, and hope you're enjoying the VF today.
That's a John player, I believe, right?
Not sure.
Jay Busy.
Jay Busy 10? First time I've interacted with them, so I don't know.
Ready, go!
I remember names from trainer. Like, oh, that's a John player. We talk a lot.
Awesome.
When I'm fighting my range, yeah.
So which character they play?
I think John.
Jean? Okay, yeah, Jean's great. Well, it's a good thing to do if they're like, if they overcommit to Okizeme. So it's really good because of that. Nice uppercut. I'm glad that nowadays I can respond to uppercut, but still. That was really fun.
Knockout!
Excellent round. That was really, really good.
Round 3. Ready, go!
Oh, so good.
Ring out!
Yeah, I have to guess more on the,
Round 4.
They say they're new, but they're a Kage player. Okay. So there's probably a different Jay Busy.
okay. I'll think the name for it.
Excellent!
This is where offensive move helps me, because the timing works out. It's like, okay, the timing works out for offensive move, because it's really hard to get out of that corner, and it's like, okay,
Yeah.
offensive move will get me there.
Yeah, I would have been streaming too, but you know, it's too much stuff to set up, and I'm just like that.
All right, thank you very much, Bonnie Von Doom. Thank you, and have a good one.
Round 1.
I should attach a Discord to my stream, though.
The Chan Dojo.
Yeah, well, I am thinking of rebranding it that, but I still have the Black Orchid Society one. The risk of crouching.
Yeah, like
Better react to this thing. Better react to this move. It's too strong.
kind of tough to do so though.
It is. What it is there's a sort of generic animation with the kicks, and because of that, at a higher level, for some of us, you kind of just see that animation with like evade, you know, like because kicks are usually really vulnerable to evade punishment. So. Vanessa's trickier because that's where her having a kick, this kick makes it harder because it's like, oh, there's a full circular part.
I should have shit up converted.
Ring out!
My death was overly exaggerated there.
No, but these are good bouts. These are good sparring, and I think you're feeling more and more as we play these long battles. But I think you're also seeing that I am making adjustments. It's not like I'm playing the same way the whole time.
And I'm trying to like match your adjustments like as quick as I can.
You're doing well. Phil. Very good.
Round 2.
So Jay Busy said they used to play Jackie and Vanessa and some Sarah. That's good. So very fun characters. Very good characters.
Nice.
And this is really, so this one is really hard to break in time. This is like the real, this uppercut's like the real test if you can break stagger.
Yeah, I ain't trying to break my hand on it either. I'm trying to fuse that situation.
Excellent.
And this one, to avoid the PKP, you would have to crouch.
Yeah.
But by crouching, the thing that sucks is if you crouch and I sidekick, then you get sidekick and PKP, which is like 80 damage. So some people just take it.
It's a tough situation.
But I think Vanessa might be able to just do 3P against both.
Probably, but it's too much for risk.
Hey, hiya. Yeah, everyone's playing.
Ready, go!
There we go. Back turn.
Yeah, I kind of. Oh yeah, it's only being right now.
Nice.
Got to catch that bait for a bit.
Round 2.
Okay, let's see.
Ready, go!
Nice.
Knockout.
Very nice.
Round 3. Ready, go!
Well, we tend to be aggressive with them because we don't get much when we cause someone to whiff. We kind of have to work hard while also not doing as much damage as some other characters might. So because of that, Leon tends to be played aggressive because he gets a lot of his damage doing counter hit like this. If I can get him to attack, then like I can like launch them. Poking is fine, but you want to score something big, and so Leon does that with that or by like his side turn game, right? So getting successful evades. So I want the opponent to kind of attack a lot, actually. So I play aggressive just to trigger the opponent to play more aggressive. And then, but Leon does have a good throw game, so using this throw game to also make a player's passiveness feel dangerous, right?
Ready, go!
Oh no.
Very good.
Knockout.
Very nice.
Like I feel stress, but I don't feel
Ridiculous.
stress.
Yeah.
It's
No,
strange.
it's good. Well, you're getting used to it, and you're seeing the decision points a little easier, but it's still really rapid. So it's still pushing you to make mistakes a little easier because VF plays just so fast, so rapid.
Ready, go!
That was really good.
R.I.P. my man. I can't believe it.
Knockout.
I think that's pretty cool.
Round 2. Ready, go! Knockout.
Oh, you trying to smother me? Okay.
Round 3. Ready, go!
Oh, wow. So you're pulling out all the tricks today.
It's fun. It's fun going for stuff.
See? I thought I'm better.
Keeping me guessing.
Yeah, and that's what Leon tries to do, because he's got lots of good tools. You know? So it favors guessing. When it comes to reacting and punishing, Leon has it, but it does way less damage.
Ready, go!
Really nice.
Knockout.
Very nice. That was excellent.
Round 2. Ready, go!
Reverse Nitaku. It's just like, I'll do this and I'll do it again, because he'll go for throw. It's
Yeah,
like,
like, I'm thinking too much about numbers.
very good. Use the high damage ones. Excellent. Good patience. Use the throw right there.
Round 4. Ready, go!
Still trying to do a different move.
Hurt you pretty short.
That was good. Almost.
Knockout.
Almost. Okay. Well, those are excellent games.
You're no match for me.
I like rimless glasses too. This is actually the style of glasses I like if I wear glasses. So
Yeah, I used to have rimless. It was just very hard to maintain.
yeah, hard to maintain, very expensive if you break or anything. But
Yeah, I know. Yeah.
because you have to replace the whole thing.
And I'm clumsy sometimes. So I'm like, yeah, like never again. So I go with the just the frames, with the thick frames usually.
Can't believe I couldn't get throw there.
Knockout.
Nice.
Thanks.
Round 2. Ready, go!
Go back.
Excellent.
That and 8KK.
Yeah, they look similar.
Ready, go!
Well, I'm so sorry.
Oh, that was a nice uppercut.
Yeah, I messed up the okie there, of the combo there.
Knockout.
fell in love with face like Coco 6K.
Yeah.
You know it's coming, but did you delay it? You like, I'm not really sure.
Yeah.
So you're trying to buddy that whole time, and you just get stunned by it. Like, oh god dang it. Instead of just like committing to the hard option.
So Jay Busy's asking, do I think the devs will make the just frame moves any easier in VF6? Or the catch throw moves? Well, catch throws are, I think by definition, execution-wise they're easy, and punishing-wise they're easy, they're just different from normal throws, so they confuse people for a bit. But I think catch throws are fine. I think the catch throws will stay, because the way that catch throws are designed have an interesting place in the game's design. And they're not really that like counterintuitive. They're just more of the only people that catch throws really confuse are the people that are like trying to study the game mechanically, and that's only temporary. Technically, catch throws aren't an issue in the game because they automatically because they're not really like a big threat until you're actually actively thinking a lot more. And even then, they're not a big threat, they're just an option. So I don't see catch throws being something as a priority to fully change. And in some ways, catch throws are a little more natural anyways, because they're similar to... catch throws are similar to the way throws work in a lot of other games, actually. But I think... if we're talking about the just frames though, I do think those will be simpler, only because the thing is that this game, Virtua Fighter 5 traditionally has been designed for arcade. This generation, the new VF is designed for console. It's designed for home play, which means console and PC. It also means that it's being designed for gamepad. Most players in the world, unless we're talking about mobile phones, the most popular control style in the world is gamepad. So the new VF will definitely be made for gamepad. And that does mean certain things will be a little simpler or streamlined for that. But I do think it will still be skill testing, and I do think there'll still be the fast pace and rapid decision making in a way. But I think the way we control it will ultimately be a little easier or just more streamlined. But we will see what that means. We will see how that turns out. But that's just my best guess because of the stated goals of the new game, and because the new game is made for the home environment. So I think, that may change what we think of fighting game controls. But I think it won't be too... I think it'll be something that feels natural for people that test it.
Why am I thinking about that so much?
Because it's been working. No, because that move has been working a lot. That's why
Yeah,
you're doing
but
that.
a lot of people are already into it. So if you're making an adjustment, then like basically I'm doing something out of the flow. You know how to pilot and I can stop.
Right. Just replace it with a better habit, that's all. Instead of worried about doing that same one, just tell yourself, I'm going to do the mid. I'm just going to do the fast mid now. And just work on that. And not as a punishment, but as a like, ooh, I want to mid them. I want to mid them so bad. I want to sucker punch them with this mid that'll kill them.
No.
Again, this is more of the that was a Bari, but it was also still like a high coming out, but it was a Bari, so because it's low punch being evaded. So if like low punch gets evaded, a good option to build into your game that I still have to build the option into my game because I don't do it enough is evade. If they evade your low punch evade, it's really strong. Like I lose a lot for not doing that. There's a lot of stuff people are hitting me that would actually lose to evade, but I don't. But like, I just have to build it into like my eyes muscle memory. Like my brain goes, oh, they just evaded my low punch. I should evade. It should be a higher priority option because it's very strong against a lot of things people do. Only because this happened a step later than usual. That's our guaranteed. This is a side combo here. Boom, boom, boom,
Round
boom.
3. Ready, go!
I like that.
Is
Interesting. Oh, I think they're definitely good. Trust me, the new.
I'm trying to get myself under control again.
So Jay Busy, the new VF is definitely going to be like a lot of good stylish moves. Like they're going to make the game look so cool. The attacks are going to look sick. For sure, they're definitely doing that. The question is, you know, will I feel amazing when I do these things? Not just because of how they look, but will I feel amazing for like, you know, like how I executed that technique? Because that's something that VF does have that I really like, is the feeling you have when you execute, when you pull off stuff. It's so cool. When you duck underneath a high and you hit them, that feels so good. Very nice 1P. Hey Rushdown Turtle, how you doing? Hope you're doing good. So Jay Busy, how have you been enjoying? Which character are you having the most fun with right now? And what's been giving you the most satisfaction in the game so far?
Round 1. Ready, go!
Very nice Sabaki. And again, this is back or forward throw, that one.
Knockout. Round 2.
All right.
Ready, go!
Yeah. Can you double down?
Well, because elbow sets up a lot of stuff. If you can counter hit or crouch it with it, like this. But you're doing really good.
Knockout.
Nice. All right, here we go.
Yeah, I'm trying to figure out, because I know, like, if I do spot, you'll double down on it. Okay. I need to...
Knockout.
Yeah, I'm trying to, like a challenge to double down. Like,
Round 4.
Yeah.
oh,
Ready,
and it's hard,
go!
too.
Ah, I see. I like this way that you're doing with that.
Knockout.
Very good.
You have to be very patient on that one.
Mission
Yep.
accomplished.
Cause like the mix is crazy. Like I'm like, nah, I gotta trust myself. Trust the
Sure.
ID.
Well, no, you're doing really good. I mean, you are. It's a lot of fun trying to do some stuff too.
Round 1.
Yeah, I'm just trying to dance with you.
Ready, go!
Hopefully not a Texas two-step.
Man, Vanessa, that's so good.
Knockout.
Here we go.
Round 3. Ready, go!
That was me.
Duck out. Round 4.
Okay.
Ready, go! Ring out.
I always lean towards the ninja character, so Kage is great, hard to master. Very true. Kage is very hard to master in this game, but I think very rewarding. Very, very rewarding and satisfying to do stuff. That was good.
Oh man, I keep dropping the 3K, the 3 Koopas K3.
I see. Well, it was really good what you did. Very good sticking with that.
Oh man, I dropped it.
Ridiculous.
You're playing awesome. I know you're working on stuff, but they're paying off. But it's the patience that's really paying off. The patience because you're working on something.
I think we'll help out with that.
Ready, go!
And Vanessa can really evade punish Leon's uppercut really well, which is really good.
Duck out. Round 2. Ready, go!
Very close, really good.
I thought you were gonna be green on that low. I'm like,
Ready, go!
Almost.
Knockout!
the darkness.
Alright, now I'm gonna start working on trying to punish one of your habits, so we'll see.
Yeah. I kind of figured.
Yeah, that's on her defense stance, it's 1P. So diagonal down back and punch.
Ready, go!
And it goes through highs.
Yeah. Well, that's what they're saying. They noticed that it tends to win against highs and then it Sabaki's to lows. So it's very strong that way. But very nice.
Excellent.
Good delay throws.
Round 2. Ready, go!
And very good Sabaki the high punch there.
Knockout! Round 3.
Usually the way to deal with it, if you can evade punish it usually, but the way to deal with it is to just block it and do Nitaku against her usually. But it depends on what you think they're gonna do in response. Because Vanessa, you have to think a little extra about what they are gonna try to do.
Knockout!
So like with Vanessa players, if they're there's a downside to each of their tools that disrupts you. But also you can backdash and whiff punish that move. It's very short range too. So that's kind of like the weakness of 1P is evade, block and Nitaku, and that like backdash is not a bad idea against it. But Monroe Sci-Fi, it's really good to meet you, and hope you're doing well. And yeah, I hope that feedback helps. But that move, generally, you just try not to 2P into it. You block in Nitaku, backdash, whiff punish it, evade punish it.
Kind of like more so a challenge of like, okay, you're overextending on the 2P.
So
it's like, alright. But then too, this is like, I'll say it's a very addictive move too.
It is. That's the downside to it. A lot of Vanessa players overuse it. And I don't think it's particularly that great, but I do think it's right in the moment.
Yeah, that's it, man.
That was funny. Hey, Evra, good to see you. Hope you're doing really good. Interesting choice to cover that direction. Ever, I hope you're doing really, really good. Good to always lab Leifei. He's definitely a character. If you're gonna lab a character, Leifei is definitely one to lab. Alright, Sabaki, the high punch. Yeah. Yeah. It is. Labbing him by playing him is definitely more efficient.
Forgot to train, eh?
To a degree, but yeah. Depends on what you're labbing and the objectives. And where your knowledge is coming from too.
Round one. Ready, go!
Yeah, I'm trying not to 1P that much, but
Knockout.
you make me not trust it. I think that's the plan here.
Ready, go!
So the opposite of what? Okay.
Knockout. Round three. Ready, go!
L-Blaze is a real tricky matchup to learn. Mainly because he makes you guess more than in very unique situations.
Yeah, you have to know how to challenge rocket discharge more so. RD.
It depends on the way the player's playing, right? And then he's got like some of his attacks can hit, like he's got awkward ranges. So if you settle in one range, you can make the mistake of like getting sucker punched by certain other stuff, right? So he doesn't have many long range tools, but the ones he has are really good. And so they can kind of hit you out of nowhere, but a lot of L-Blaze players might not be comfortable using it, so then they're using the really fast super short range moves. So getting a sense of the range play is always tricky with L-Blaze. And then yeah, there's definitely a knowledge component to learning how to fight against L-Blaze.
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie. Deer in the headlights.
No problem. What kind of tech would I like to see in VF6? That's hard because, you know, like I'm already totally cool with whatever they decide to do for VF6 because it's going to be a totally new game. And I think that's a good thing. I think that's how it should be. But because of that, it's made it harder for me to really like make any kind of quote unquote demand. But what do I imagine could be cool in the new VF6? I think, well, you know, I still love classic Virtua Fighter ring stage design, and I kind of, there's a part of me that really wants that, but I think it's going to be more like Tekken 8, and I think that's fine. But it's just like but they did say that there will still be ring outs, so we'll see what ring outs are like, because that will be interesting. Because I do imagine that the stages will be more intricate, but more like that there's going to be environmental damage. There's going to be stuff that you break in the background. I'm not sure if I'm expecting damage, like for you to take damage for doing that, but or you know, like hitting somebody into something. I don't know like what you get beyond stuff that's like what you have now, but I think at least for graphics wise, you're going to see interactions with the backgrounds, and that'll be cool. But the thing is that why do I like traditional VF arenas? Because especially this game, I think the arenas affect the play, have a strong impact on the play, and are essential in creating the pressure. So I do feel like, but I do think that the future is going to be something that's a little more like normal environments. So we're going to see stuff like, you know, hallways, and we'll see something that's like DOA-ish but small. Right, which is kind of like Tekken 8, but without, you know, falling through the floor. I think we're gonna see, like, I would not be surprised if you don't see much jumping at all. Like if like combos look more like stun combos, but with just a little bit of lift, or a little bit of, you can see they're off balance. You know, I wouldn't be surprised if that's what the direction they go, with like only a few things really sticking up out of, like, popping up in the air. I think I would. Okay, so you know, REVO and Final Showdown is like my favorite Virtua Fighter of all time, but I love all of them a lot. But like, and REVO is, you know, might become my favorite one, but it's just more like, this is early to say that. We're still learning a lot about REVO. So like, but having said that, Final Showdown and REVO are very, very fast-paced games, and VF will always be fast-paced, but what I mean is they have a more tactical flow because of the damage levels, and that all the characters in REVO and in Final Showdown do a lot of damage. All the characters. The lightweights do a lot of damage. Everyone does light damage, and I love that. I do. But I wouldn't mind if VF6 has more of a strategic like amount of damage, which is kind of like what like the 4 series and 5 vanilla have, which is in those games like a character like Leon is doing less damage. He can do good damage, but he's got to really set it up. He's got to work pretty hard to do it. And so what happens is that he kind of just, but he has a lot of advantage in terms of like being really like having the tools, and eventually he can find the win condition, and he can ring out, and he can, you know, he can slow time down, so to speak, by, you know, out hitting and being difficult to nail. Right, and then Jeffrey and Wolf traditionally were like doing big damage, and so they didn't have to win as many situations, but they had to work hard to win those. So because of that, in the VF4 series and 5 vanilla, there's what I would say is a more strategic flow, where you're going to have a lot of reads. By round 4, you will have a lot of reads. In Final Showdown, if you have a lot of experience, you can get those reads, but mostly the game has a more tactical flow, and so you can just steal rounds, so to speak. I don't talk about stealing that much, but you can quote unquote, you know, you can really just rip a round from somebody in this game, in Final Showdown and REVO, and I like that. But I wouldn't mind a more strategic flow where the Yomi of basically, I think in like 4 all the way until 5 vanilla, the reads that you get in like a 1st to 3 in this game is kind of what you're feeling in a single game in those games. Whereas I play on that level where I execute reads pretty fast, but I'm very committal. That's why you see me be very aggressive, and you see me make really quick decisions about how to go after somebody. but I'm leveraging a lot of experience from playing lots of long battles and from my previous VF game experience and stuff like that. But in this game, it's a little harder to teach, and I don't think that's a bad thing. I love how Revo plays, and I love how Final Showdown plays, and they are my favorite VF games. But if that flow gets down to like, okay, the middle heavyweights are doing really good damage, and they're just good at certain things quite a bit. The heavyweights, like I said, in this game, the heavyweight characters, everyone's doing the same damage as Jeffrey and Wolf. The difference is they're just a little more technical, and they're just designed to just do things a little differently. But I think in the older VFs, you could say that they could just win in a more straightforward strategic, like with strategy. Because they're just the big hitters and the big throwers, and so they just kept threatening you with their damage. But other characters were threatening you more with their tools or building the reads and then going, if I can read you, then I can outfight you. But I think that's a really hard thing to balance. But in the past, they did a good job with that. So yeah. But I do think I do think that whatever they do with the user interface in the new VF is going to have more, the user interface is going to try to make it more clear to the player what's going on mechanically. It doesn't mean it has to be all bells and whistles, but I think they'll give a bit more signals. I think they'll work on communicating it well while making it look really flashy. And so because of that, maybe things like the side turn combos that we have in this game will be just a little more obvious that those are combos to the player. And I think we're going to see combos like that. I would like to see them have combos based on side turn and combos based on front facing, and of course stun combos and really quick, fast wall combos. I love the wall combos in this game. I really love how everything works in this game. But I'm looking at that future direction of VF, and I think it's going to be like interesting fights, and the stage is going to have an element, and like mechanics I'd like to see super lightweight characters like an Eileen or an L Blaze have, like, if there is a ring out, like let's say there was like a wall over the wall ring out, I'd like them to be able to tech. Because of the fact that they might be easier to stun or lift, so to speak, or ring out that way. I wouldn't mind if they had like an interesting, very difficult way to tech if you threaten to ring them out, and then they could tech and tech out, grab onto the wall and fling back into the stage. I wouldn't mind if that. I think that would be cool, right? Whereas a heavyweight character,
I think El Blaze will work better with that though.
Yeah,
I'm thinking about it. El Blaze would be like, I'm back in. I was like, all right.
Right. Whereas like Jeffrey and Wolf, you'd have to actually outpower. You'd have to really combo them hard to get them through that wall, right? But so I think stuff like that would be cool. I think that has potential. I think that has the potential for making matchups look interesting, and yet you can still balance that. Yeah. So I don't want them to overemphasize the environment, but I would like the environment to have these little things in there to help kind of guide that.
Because our next game starts to tech this way. Not too not too DOA, but okay, you time it this way. Yeah, I go with you.
And then of course, we don't want death at I like death at the wall in this game, because in this game walls are like virtual ring outs, but the way that I'm picturing VF6, I don't think it's as severe as that. I think maybe Tekkenate without the death at the wall. The hard part with don't you like the other aspects of the wall with Tekken 8 when there's not the death at the wall, right? Just like that you can tech off the hit, and if you got hit against the wall, maybe you could tech aside, or you could it would be interesting. And I think they can do that, and that would look very cinematic. I think the thing is VF6 is going to stress this cinematic look, and so I think this could really change the way we think of fighting games, and yet now they become a little more arena-ish, but in a cool way. But I think the core fight is going to be the most important, and what will be how you're winning everything. But these little things at the wall are going to create little pressures, but just like now, they just create adjustments to how you play,
Yeah, and luckily, they keep the system in place, like how it is here. That's my thing. I don't want the system to change too drastically.
No, CP Skill says a really awesome thing. It says, Chanchai, I'm really interested to see how Sega teaches VF6 to new players in game. An upgraded version of Quest Mode would be awesome. Yes, so one, I want something like Quest Mode. Two, I think we're in a time where you can make the online and the offline hybrid. You could mix bots in with humans. Now, you can have a separate way to do ranking mode, like you go to this room, these are ranked battles, right? Or these are the battles with training mode or with training wheels, and these are the battles without training wheels, and this is where the rank is, and you get rewards in both. I think that would be awesome. I think you can have bots online now. I think everybody understands that bots do exist and that you could do them in a good way and you can do them in a bad way, but then there's also certain rooms that don't have bots, right? You don't have to worry about it. So I think we can do that kind of thing in the future. I do think it's a little spendy and it's risky. The risk is that if you don't create a pure offline way of playing VF, which I think there will always be a pure offline way to play VF no matter what they do with it, because you need for tournaments and stuff like that. But I do think that unless you do that, then the risk is that a game can truly die in the long term, because it doesn't have an offline infrastructure. So I do want an offline infrastructure, but I think it'd be amazing to just be able to just have something like a modern Quest Mode. As far as the question about teaching, I think, so yes, I think it would be really good if they have something like VF4 the modern version of VF4REVO's tutorial. I do. I think it's essential to have it, but I don't think it's good design to build that as the primary way to teach the player. This is for people that really want to study, that really actually would do it. But in my experience, those players make up less than 10% of the gaming population that actually touch the game. So it does ultimately need to be taught through something like the Quest Mode without it being like the Tekken Quest Mode. Just something that's just a little natural, just give little goals, just give little mechanical goals in your weeklies or whatever. I would rather just have weeklies and not have dailies, but the thing I hate about dailies is I hate it when I'm playing a game because it's got dailies. And then once I decide to skip the daily or skip out on winning the season reward, I just end up not playing the game again because it feels good to not feel FOMO from that. And I'm not even an anti-FOMO person. I really am not. I'm usually like, oh, that's cool that they put that in the game. But I know that
I think I'm the same way because like MK used to have dailies, right?
Yeah, but it's true that I hated doing it as a chore. Like I want the game to give me positive incentives, so like it doesn't matter when I complete it, but I'll get that thing, and then they'll pop a new one, and I can get it whenever. But when we make it down to dailies and weeklies and seasons, I have found that those are the games that yes, I do get addictive to. But once I break free of the addiction loop, I never touch the game again. I haven't touched Marvel Snap in like almost a year. And and the first time that I stopped, like when I skipped out like maybe a period of 2 weeks, I didn't touch it again for 2 years. And then similar thing happened to Legends of Runeterra, and I love the game Legends of Runeterra, but I found that I got myself in that addiction loop, and then I did find that once I broke free of the addiction loop, something in the back of my mind was like, yeah, I don't need to play this game again. And I don't want that to happen to VF. I want people to just want to play VF, and I want them to not feel like, oh, if I do get back, I gotta manage this feeling, right? And so now I'm like, I think we're now in this era where a lot of games have had these addiction mechanisms that were really good, but these are about addiction. They're not about this fulfilling feeling inside about I just want to get better at this game, or I'm just having fun with this game. I want to get back to that, and I think VF can keep doing that, because that's what VF does for me. I just want to do it for everyone else. And I think the addiction loop, we found that there are definitely things that can be used from those loops, but there's definitely things we can do without, so that we can avoid this weird burnout, this weird feeling that this game is not healthy for me, this weird feeling where my life might be better if I stop. I don't want the game to make you feel that way, right? And so I think that'd be cool if they could just keep, but I do think the classic quest mode had that, right? The classic quest mode, especially for Evolution's Quest mode, you still could just get stuff. You know, and it's just the more you play, the more you'll get stuff. And if you don't want to, that's okay. You don't have to care about it. But if you do want it, you can get it and just play. And you don't have a time limit or anything like that. Like, we just know you're gonna play. You're gonna like it. And if you want to complete arcades, you can complete arcades. And if you want to get the Sonic costume, you get the Sonic costume. You know what I mean? Like, just make these all optional stuff that I want. It's okay to have Season Pass. I'm okay with it. I don't think Season Pass is wrong either. I think there's different ways to do it to just make it a positive, like, I just always want to do this. But if you do buy it, you as long as you put the eventual time in it, not a time limit on it, you're going to get that cool season thing, right? So I don't mind that. But the hard part is the fear of missing out. So the fear of missing out is that, well, if you release it now, you should release it again a year later if you're going to do that. You know, or it should always be optional. So then we're just back to expansion packs, you know. And so, but I think, but I think there's lots of ways to make it enticing, fun, and motivating to keep getting back into VF. All right, other questions. So, Booger says, would it be like Virtua Tennis where there are mini games to upgrade your character level? I think there are ways to do that within that environment. I think there's ways to go. I do think they're gonna do an environment that looks like the like Street Fighter 6's Overworld hub. I think they're doing, like, I think they've been teasing that the new VF is gonna have something that looks like a Capcom or a Tekken or ArcSys game, because ArcSys has been doing that forever. So I do think Sega is working on something interesting like that, having this overworld hub. So I think that's definitely happening. And so through that overworld hub, you'll probably get to these other things. And we'll see what they choose to do. I have ideas on what would be the best ways to do it, but I do think ultimately, yeah, they're doing stuff like that. And Kelly says, Chanchai, how do I sell ring outs to my Tekken friend? This is hard. They view it as a party mechanic and dislike the concept, but from playing it, it doesn't feel like that.
Just basically like, ooh, I had that, like, I forgot how I sold that, but it was a hell of a sale.
Yeah. Selling people on it is hard. But sometimes it's just, this is one of those things where I think the more you try to sell it too hard, some people are just going to be trenched in and against it, and some people are going to embrace it. So just like as we do now, we just talk about it. We're like, it's cool.
Yeah,
the thing is that it's fun.
It's such an antagonistic thing.
Well, I think it's awesome, but I think it's really...
It's a tactical thing, but like...
Yeah.
It's very antagonistic because it's taken away from the flow of combat for them.
But also, you know, this is the game's way of making it so you can't run away forever. The problem is the Tekken player's like, well, I want to run away forever. You know, and you're like, okay. You know, so what's... You know, technically, there are some players, you have to find what appeals to the player. So what appeals to the player? And this is not a universal thing. This is, specifically, which friend are we talking to? There's this friend that hates it when people run away from the fight, right? Then you're like, you know, because of the ring outs and the walls in Virtua Fighter, you can't really run away. And actually, this game encourages you to go forward. But if you're feeling that that's unsafe, the thing about Virtua Fighter, the good thing about a guard button is you can dash forward and guard. And that sounds so simple, but a lot of what people's hang-ups are about, like, wanting back to be block is they want to be able to feel really safe. Some of them just want to move away and block at the same time. And to that, I say, I understand that, but I also say in real life that's actually not how things work. Like, you're more likely to fall off balance stepping backwards than stepping forward. When you step, that's why in martial arts, when you learn how to block, it's a forward movement. Because your body has stronger muscles pushing you forward than backpedaling. When you backpedal, you have a high chance of injuring yourself. You have a higher chance of falling off balance. In tennis, if you hit behind yourself, you're going to hurt your shoulder. You're going to hurt your hip. If you hit in front of yourself, that's way low risk, but much higher risk. So, like, if a ball goes behind me in tennis, the proper technique is to actually turn my body all the way to facing that ball, and then hitting from there. It might be weird, but that's the actual technique. And that's also true for almost any other sport you do. So that said, that's going for the quote-unquote semi-realism argument, which not everybody gets won over by realism argument, because they just want to have fun. It's a game, right? So you got to kind of find each. So what I do is I just try to have the conversation with the friend and find what's interesting. But also the thing is some friends you just say, ring outs are just freaking hilarious. I love it, and I love like successfully doing it. And I hate it when somebody rings me out, but I have to also go, GG's, and that was good. Sometimes I have to just admit that they skillfully rung me out. That said, you also can talk about the memes, because ring outs can be very memey. And so sometimes you just use that field. So to each friend, the argument's a little different. But to some others, I'm like, it's really interesting, because now the opponent just can't run away. The opponent's got to they got to come to me, or they got to stay there, but they're not going to run away. But in VF, it is very strategic. Objectively speaking, the ring dimensions, just like in Tekken 8, the Tekken 8 uses the wall as a ring out. It's just less, it's a skill-based ring out, But yeah,
I'm ideas and comments.
I'm reading this. So CP Skill says kind of what I said, which I found this to be true in my experience. So CP Skill says, I find the best way to get people to play games I like is to play games I like as much as possible and have people see me play. 100% agree. This is actually why part of my community building in the past has been to set up a dedicated time where I'll be in a public place playing the game I love, like Virtua Fighter, or supporting a popular game that can draw the crowd to Virtua Fighter. So I used to play a lot of Tekken 4 in the arcade just to find Tekken VF players, and I did. I found on my college campus in a smaller college town, I found Korean players who played Tekken and played VF, but we played Tekken 4, and then I told them and then I would talk about VF, and then found out that we both love Virtua Fighter, and we played tons of that in college. But I also would put flyers saying I was going to be at a certain place to play fighting games at a certain time. I made the commitment to it. Now that said, today's environment's a little different. There's different ways to do that in a modern context. But in the past, I have consistently won people. That's also why I stream and do what I'm doing right now. But I have consistently found VF players no matter where I went, right? I've played VF players in almost any country I went to. So obviously, when I went to Japan, I played VF there. I went to France, I played VF there. I go to Thailand, I played VF there. I went to China, 3 different cities. I played VF in Beijing, I played VF in Shanghai, and I played VF in Hong Kong. So I played VF over there, right? And I didn't expect to find that there. I went there to take my daughter on a field trip. She had a 2-week field trip, and it worked out because I streamed, and because a Beijing player reached out to me, and then after that I got networked in with the Beijing players, and then I got networked into a lot of the Chinese players, and I still chat with them to this day on WeChat. So and we still chat about VF. We talked about the VF about EVO Japan because they went there. Some of them went there, and we keep in touch. We talk about VF6 as well. And I'm really glad that on WeChat we have a translated chat, so it's a lot of fun. And I got to play in Shanghai. I got to play in their arcade, 24-hour arcade. This is the arcade that Xiaohai goes to. This is the arcade that has his, when he won, I think when they held the Arcadia Cup China, they have photos from that. So that's the arcade I fought in Shanghai, and that arcade is open 24/7, and I got to fight in there live streamed. I didn't know I was live streamed, so I was live streamed Friday, Saturday, Sunday nights, and players from the Shanghai area and outskirts came there to fight me in VF because I was winning a lot. So but they're strong. They're really strong players. So it is very similar, but but I was happy that with that experience, I didn't know that they were live streaming from the other side from the other cabinet. But in China, a lot of people live stream day to day. A lot of people are live streaming from their cameras, and at the arcade they have tripods for everyone to use for their live streaming. So yeah,
that's good. That's interesting. That's actually really interesting.
Yeah, and CP Skills is right. The biggest complaint I get from my friends who play VF is they can't find anyone to play unless I'm available, so they don't get to play much. It's true.
Yeah,
this is hard. Look, this is an issue for a lot of games. Just like the board game Go is the most popular game in the world, but most of the players are in East Asia. So, if you're in the West, it feels like nobody plays. And it's hard to get people to play because it feels like nobody plays. But you find ways to do that. And that's why I'm relentless about finding people and making myself available and posting about it. And these days I don't actually play much of the other fighting games. I used to always play them, and that's important to do. But because I'm older man now and with family and stuff, it's a little less that. But even still, the fighting game community in my region and wherever I go, people do kind of know me, so they know I love VF. So they're always, because of that, I do get a lot of people telling me they would like to play VF, and I get many opportunities to teach it, and they know that I'm happy to teach it and to play with them. And they also know that if they ask me if I would play their game, usually the answer, I would try to make it a yes, if they actually directly ask me that, I'll usually try to make the answer a yes. So yeah, so you gotta like, I found the positive approach to work for me, and I do think you have to make a presence, and it's hard, and not everybody has the same sets of skill set that I might have, but if you don't try, it's not gonna happen.
Yeah, that's true.
But if you do have a friend or a brother or peer that can play with you, it's great. But when I said that I would make time for these events, like I would make time for a session, I 100% made sure I was there. But if in the small rare case that there's nobody to play, I would either do training mode, or in college days I would just study while I was there, but I'd have a sign saying I'm right there, just let me know and we'll play, but usually I would use the screen as much as possible and just play in front of people. And then people start to ask. And also, don't get offended if you're playing VF and people ask you if you're playing Tekken, don't get upset at that. That's an opportunity. You can say, hey, Tekken is really awesome, but this is Virtua Fighter, and Tekken and Virtua Fighter have a long history together, but also like a lot of what's made Tekken great came from VF, and a lot of what made VF great came from Tekken also. Just be very positive about it. Don't get upset. If you get upset over that, you're gonna look like you're elitist, and you're gonna be less approachable, and you're gonna be like, people, in my experience, people don't like. It's one thing to talk with your friends about how much cooler your thing is, the things you guys like are. It's totally different when people are just meeting you, and when they're just like. It's not like, you can't take it as a negative that they won't, that they're like, oh, is that Tekken? But I've seen a lot of VF players sometimes do that, and you're like, hey, be cool, Yeah, nobody wants to feel like what they like is not appreciated. You gotta really share that. Yeah.
There's an awkward feeling there too, like you're playing something and someone's like ragging on it, still playing. And still offering positivity. It's tough. It really is tough. I've dealt with that with Soul Calibur, not with VF. I've dealt with that with Soul Calibur at locals, So, I know I definitely know how that feels. I actually understand the whole conversation, and you still have positive.
Right, like, trust me, even if they confuse it as Smash, please just be positive. Find a way to play. Find a way to be happy about what we this is about relating to other human beings, So, but N Kelly says, what mechanics would you hate to appear in VF6? I'm very open-minded. I really am, and when it comes to VF6, I'm super open-minded. Well, no, because people have always said they don't want to see this or that, but there's a lot of people putting in a lot of money and their life on the line and time on the line to make this game, so I'm willing to see what it's like, right? And generally, the execution matters more than the mechanic. Actually,
the game is actually really balanced. So it's kind of a hard thing to say. That's like saying, either you have a weakness in an area if you say, I don't like this mechanic.
Right. So for me, it's like, well, let's see how they do it, right? Even if they said we're gonna have supers in VF, I'll be like, okay, they've chosen to do it. Let's see what they do with it. that's the way I am, because I'm like, well, surprise me, show me a good way to do it. Look, Virtua Fighter 5 Vanilla has the throw clash system, and at the time I liked it. Nowadays, if somebody asks me, I'm like, well, I think it's one of the confusing aspects of VF5 Vanilla. I'm not going to complain about it when I play VF5 Vanilla, but I prefer the way that it is in Final Showdown, and I prefer the way that it is in Revo. I'm like, the thing with Virtua Fighter 5 Vanilla is by having this weird throw clash system, they tried to make up for it too. They created zero frame throws, and now throws got way more confusing. Throws got way more confusing because of that. And so that feels like when I used to make the argument that VF is elegant, I can't really say that about the mechanics of VF5 Vanilla. I'm like, that's not so elegant. I understand what they're trying to do, I think, maybe, but it's kind of confusing and it's kind of a mess, and I respect them for trying, and I still love playing that game. It's just different, Yeah. So that's the way that I am. So that's why I can't say that I'm going to hate a mechanic. I have to really try it. I will keep my mind open. I'll be like, well, let's see. Because if I'm going to complain about it now, there have been times where I've been wrong, and that's fine to be wrong. But there are times when I've been dead right, and, then it's fine to be right. So one of those things where it's like, show me why you think that was the good move, right? Like if they changed the control scheme of VF, I don't think I would like that, but then I would be like, well, show me why this is better. And you might never satisfy that question, but I might go, well, okay, I can still play it. This is for pad. Maybe this makes sense. But I was like, but I never saw what's wrong with classic guard punch kick, right? So that's something, so just to keep your mind open, they could change anything, and I'd have to just keep my mind open and try, Sometimes, but a lot of times those types of changes were weird. A lot of times in the history, those changes were like, well, I don't know if they had to do that, but okay, But then again, if I'm being honest, I actually like the evade button, but most people don't until they've played the game like VF3 like a lot. But people that play VF3 really do like it like a lot, and honestly, it's really cool. But then again, I like the evade system overall, the modern evade system, way more than VF3's evade system. So it was not a bad change. It was a good change. And if I want to have an evade button, I can at least get half of an evade button, and I do. On some of my controllers, I have an up button, and it makes it interesting. It's not broken at all. It's just more of like, okay, I can do up or I can press this. But if I want to evade down, I still gotta hit down, unless I have the down button. But and in some ways, is it better to have that? Kind of, because it's a little easier to evade with a button than evade with like down neutral, up neutral, than with the stick, because the stick is going to tie your hands on other techniques. It could limit you that way. So then again, we found that if you play all buttons, 270 throws are like a little harder with the way they're coded. So expect 270 throws to either be coded differently or out of the game on the next VF. I am super happy that VF6 is happening. Yeah. Jeffrey needs to have a death combo. If there's one thing I might be sour on, it's probably pure death combos, right? I love stagger. Just don't let me have an infinite stagger against beginners, right? That's like the rice planning thing. That's something I don't want, because that's not friendly to the game. That's so anti-beginner. We don't want anti-beginner. We really don't want anti-beginner. And we don't want, the dumb notion, well, they just have to get over it, like it's going to be fun until they get good. You're like, that's not a good game. Like that's really not a good game. So, because that's not necessary, I think they will make stagger streamlined, meaning it'll be simpler. It might be quick timer events. It might be like, basically it'll probably be something like a quick timer event. To me, no, I love the stagger mechanic, and I do like it to at least be giving me a sense of pressure and a sense of loss of control. I think that's a real thing in a fight. That is somebody throwing dirt in your eyes, sweat getting in your eyes, you getting hit really hard that you're groggy. That's a feeling I want that's kept. Now, does it need to be the same stagger? No. It can be a quick timer event. It could be, okay, you got to hit this sequence, or you got to do these things. But if you do it too much, players don't like it doing it too much. They don't want you to cross genre too hard, right? They don't want you to feel like you've got to be playing Beat Mania to play VF. They don't mind if you had to play a little Beat Mania to get through it, but they don't want you to feel like you're playing it like a lot. So, but I do think stagger mechanic is definitely going to be streamlined and changed. And so I'm open to that because, look, my favorite VF exists and it has great staggers. I'm happy with VF6 being whatever it needs to be to win over a whole new generation of fans. Number one priority. Like, this needs to be the new VF. To me, I want the new VF to be like Battlefield 3. Or, you know what? We could swing for the fences. It could be the quote-unquote modern modern warfare of its age, right? Of fighting games, right?
Modern Warfare 2?
No. I'm just talking about the way that Modern Warfare 1 changed the face of the military shooter, right? And it changed it on console anyways. But I know, listen, it's amazing on PC, but the real deal was that was the first time that the console game kind of gave you like the high speed thrills, but you use tactical shooting as a way to make it more workable on pad, as opposed to just making it Halo. Halo's amazing. Halo solved the issue in a different way. It says we're an arena combat shooter, and but it plays at this speed, Just like Gears of War solved it in another way, but Modern Warfare did something. But honestly, I'm talking about Battlefield 3. I think Battlefield 3 really changed the face of Battlefield, and I think just like Monster Hunter Worlds changed Monster Hunter and made it much more bigger for a newer audience and for a global audience, not just a Japanese audience, right? Just like Battlefield 2 or Battlefield Bad Company 2, they don't click with the mass audience but they click with their hardcore audience so good. But they don't click with this mass audience. Battlefield 3 broke through, clicked with that, created a new generation of fans of Battlefield, even if, the Battlefield 1 direction and the Battlefield 5 direction didn't gel with that. And sadly, Battlefield 2143 it did everything wrong, despite being kind of the right idea, but right now, Battlefield 6 looks like it's trying so hard to be the new Battlefield 3, and I'm happy about that. I'm happy that they're like, screw it, let's remake Battlefield 3. That's basically what Battlefield 6 is trying to do. But I'm not saying I want VF to remake whatever VF. I don't want them to even remake VF4. I'm saying that Battlefield 3 was bold, Monster Hunter Worlds was bold, and it was saying, we can do this. We can be that game. And so Battlefield 3 never became like a Call of Duty killer, but it became respected like a Call of Duty game, and with a mass audience and with a hardcore audience too, of a new generation. Even if they're like, well, it's not my Bad Company 2 or it's not my Boss 2. Look, I'll probably say that it's not my Revo, it's not my Final Showdown. I don't care. VF6 has to be for a new generation that isn't 10 to 20 years from dying. So, well, the thing is that I think this could really, if it is successful and doing these things, if it happens to swing hard, this really is encouraging for fighting games going forward. It could change the way we look at fighting games. It could make a new generation of fighting games that actually is a new generation, a new era of fighting games. And I think that would be so cool if it does. I would be so happy if it does, right? Not just because it's a fighting game that we all know. No, this feels like something new. And also, they keep signaling how they're down for the art and for the story even, right? They're signaling it through the art releases. They're signaling it through how much little things are about story. It's not Sarah, that's Stella. Oh, okay, now we're going to story. That's a way to say this is about story. Akira has a totally new look. Really interesting. I want to know why. Wolf. they gave a whole backstory just through that trailer, you know.
I'm like, well, Sabretooth, I haven't seen you in a minute.
Yeah, and then they provoked you also with the art direction, right? And so I'm excited. They're like, we are serious about this game. I was like, you know, like, I think all of us were like, man, how could they make like a cooler Virtua Fighter? They're like, honestly, they've addressed almost everything people have criticized about VF. In a way, they basically said we're going after the things everyone's criticizing about VF, or saying that they wish it had. They're taking so many excuses off the table. So I'm really excited about VF6. And Kelly, what I will say is, yeah, it's probably not as accessible with staggers, but stagger breaking is a technique. And but it's true that maybe the way it's presented is archaic, and that the VF6 could have a good way to present it while making it streamlined, while making it reasonable, and making it something that anyone on a pad or any controller could actually do with just enough effort. They don't have to make the most insane effort, but just enough. And it would be interesting, and it would not be replacing throw escapes. It would just be like stagger. And I think that would be really cool, because the cool thing about stagger breaks too is when they push you into the mind games after the stagger break. Once you get good at stagger breaking, if your opponent is alert enough at the higher level, it becomes a thing that messes you up, and so then it puts a lot of pressure on you to play the guessing game right after it, and it's really cool. But I'm not saying it has to be that hard in the new VF. I'm just saying it'll be cool if they do that, if they make it like interesting and make it still more accessible, but at the same time just stressful enough that it still fulfills this purpose, because I do think that's a cool feeling in a fighting game. And it's not broken, but your opponent has to decide, am I just going to go ahead and is this person good against stagger, or are they bad against it? And if they're bad against it, I can play one way, which is I'll combo a certain way. But if they're good against it, now we're playing mind games. And the cool thing about stagger break, you can avoid the situations. This game, there's not that many ways to stagger you, and so they all have certain conditions. They have conditions like you have to be attacking against your frame advantage quite a lot, meaning you have to abare sometimes to get, you know, staggered by certain stuff. Other times it might be you were crouching. Okay, maybe I'll guard high more because I just don't want to get staggered by that. But usually the stagger stuff doesn't totally kill you. It's only recently when that happened and where it became real issue, that the one that could kill you was actually just really difficult to break. So that is a cap on it, but I want this game to still allow the players to be rewarded for doing difficult things. So we'll see what they decide are reasonable to be difficult things.
Still got time. We still have time.
So, and Kelly's like, they're not so open-minded. If they see another homogenized meter mechanic, they're flying a plane into SegHQ. Well, I'm just gonna tell you, it looks like they are at least toying with the ideas of meters. And you know, sometimes some meters are good, some meters are bad. We'll see what they do. Yeah, I
mean, like
it's the sum of the mechanics.
Yeah, I think like Tekken, because everyone, when it comes to meter, everyone just thinks Tekken.
Yeah. Here's what I do like in VF's current design, though. Almost all the information I need to look at, besides the life bar and the clock, is actually just around the opponent's character. I see everything else in my peripheral vision, including the life bar and the timer, but I'm mostly just staring at their character. And if a lot of the information that's necessary is there, I'll be happy. One of the hard parts about a game like Street Fighter 6 is observing all of those meters. That's a lot of strain on your visual path, because in that game you do want to pay attention to those things. You want to see if they're burning their drive meter. You want to see like where the drive meter's at, where the guard meter's at, where the life bar's at, where the super is at. Like it's not that you have to, but if you want to play at your very, very best, you should be observing those things in some way. You have to manage that process, and that's a bit of overload. I think Virtua Fighter is already a lot to focus on, and it's high speed, and because we wanted to maintain the high speed exchanges and decision making, then it would be ideal that we didn't have to have our two eyes, or some people's one eye, on the whole screen on different zones, absorbing so much information. But it's true that in a lot of fighting games you do have to, that it's to your benefit to observe a lot of it at much of the time. So but that said, we'll see what they do. We'll see what they do. I do think Tekken 8 is a fine game, by the way, but I haven't been playing season 2. I'm just saying that overall, I think it's a fine game, and I actually enjoy it. So, but yeah, wait, did you say Halo was an arena shooter? Okay, so I won't get too much into it. I guess I was thinking about multiplayer Halo a bit, and kind of the way that it's designed, but it's not the same as Quake, but it's interesting combat design. And I was talking more about the speed of the game, the shield system, the auto aim and everything else like that. The way that I think about the game is a little different, but it's also, I'm not saying it's Unreal Tournament, and I'm not saying it's Quake 3, Quake 2, which all three play ridiculously differently. I haven't played much of the Quake games after Quake 4, so I'll be honest about that. Though I was very tempted to play Quake Champions, but yeah. I like the speed of VF's combos. But that said, I'm not expecting the combos to be I'm expecting the combos to be more streamlined in the new VF. Like, I'm expecting that the combat to be really interesting, and that what you're interested in, hopefully we will see what they do. There's going to be a lot of motion capture, so this is a huge design challenge, what they do with that. And that can also be what's revolutionary about the new VF. So we will see. Alright, so CP Skill says, yeah, stagger mechanics definitely is not great for cerebral palsy. Understand, and I'm open-minded to that, and like I said, I'm 100% sure that if stagger stays in, they're going to streamline it. That's just what I believe. But they might get rid of it, to be honest. There's a very good argument that they're going to get rid of it. But I think there'll be something in there. Look, Sonic players can deal with a quick timer event. I think VF players can too. Just not if it's way too much done, right? It's just, again, I think Final Showdown and REVO made the amount of staggers in the game pretty good. If you guys don't know, Virtua Fighter 4 series and Virtua Fighter 5 Vanilla and 5R, the stagger was very common because simply if you elbow somebody and they were crouched, you would get they would be staggered. And so that it was super common. And so when you ask like Homestay Akira, would you like them to bring back elbow stagger? He's like, well, I can break stagger, so I don't mind, but I feel bad for people's controllers because a lot of people like abuse their controllers when there's that much stagger breaking. So, but the stagger break was not as severe as like the hardest ones. It was about medium difficulty stagger from an elbow stagger. Very cool conversation between Skills and Princess. And Jay Busy says, I would love to see more off the ground. I definitely want... now, here's the thing. I love... so today, there's actually an interesting discussion about... I'm going to jump on the VFTV, by the way, but I would still love to have you in the voice chat, Blurring. It's just that I know that I'm going to... I just know that I'm here. I just know that...
Here, I'm just like, you know...
Yeah, I'm just saying that I'm just going to say that I'm going to put VFTV on there because I do know that I'm going to have to get ready for going out with family soon, but we're going to still chat. But, so, here's the thing. I love... Okizeme in Final Showdown and REVO, like probably the best actually, but there was discussion today I saw in the Discord, in the community Discord, about how because some players really miss like the Okizeme before that. So the Okizeme from VF4 all the way to like 5. Now to add 5 vanilla, what that added was offensive move attacks there were special offensive move is very different in that game, but the offensive move attacks, they had some strong setups. And so the point being though that if in Virtua Fighter 4 series, if like let's say I crumple comboed you, so your face is gonna be down and your head's gonna be towards me, right? If you did an up or down tech roll and I hit you with a mid, you would be back turned. You would be comboed. So there was a wrong way to get up if you got knocked down that way. Similarly, if your face was down and your head was away from me, so like let's say I attacked you from the back and comboed you and made you fall down that way, if you tech roll, if you did like quick rise, same thing, and I did a mid attack, you would be dead. Like you would just get comboed from the back. So there was a wrong way to get up on those two body positions of falling down. That's what it was like before Final Showdown. So what did Final Showdown do? It got rid of that. It made it so there's this media window, which is cool, which I think is awesome. And then it also makes it so that, okay, if you don't, the media window you can only guard for 3 frames. All you can do is guard or stand or crouch, but you can't attack, you can't evade, you can't do special techniques. You know, you can't move. You can only guard, and it's either going to be crouching or standing, or you're not guarding while standing or crouching, right? But after those 3 frames, then you could start attacking, you could evade or whatever. So that's how the current system is, and I like this system very much because you can also still delay waking up, and if somebody tries to media you and you wake up like later, so they did too early, they will whiff. Whereas if they do it too late, you could possibly evade or sabaki or whatever, right? But if they perfectly timed it, then you had to respect that and defend or take the hit, right? Defend with guard specifically because you couldn't evade. So I like this system. I do think this is better than now the old system was very much like this, except that in the old system, again, if you fell down in one of the 2 certain ways, there was definitely an option you don't do because it would definitely kill you, right? Or just there's a wrong way. I like this game being much more about guesses and possible right ways, and cutting down on some of the flat out wrong ways. You know, I think that is more dynamic. Does that make sense to you?
Yeah, I think that's the addiction for me too.
Yeah.
Basically, there's multiple ways and multiple situations that can be solved multiple ways.
Yeah.
And I think that's the appeal. There's not one answer that fits all.
Yeah.
You know.
Right. I know. You know, you've come from other games too, and you've heard me over describe, and I'm overstating it because Tekken, there's many good answers actually, but I'll overstate it. Tekken is the game that feels like there's some definite wrong. Don't do this. Don't do it. Don't do it. You know. You know. And so Tekken is a game where you can feel like there's a lot of you don't do the wrong thing unless we're really deep in the loop somewhere. You know, unless we're really deep, you have to go kind of deep in Tekken 8 to kind of go into where the wrong thing becomes a viable option, you know. But usually it's kind of just wrong, you know. But
it's wrong for a long time until you realize, they don't know it.
yeah. But that said, there are a variety of right answers. But I do love in VF. There's always lots of good stuff, and that there's always there's almost always a moment for for a certain thing to be pretty good actually, you know. And that's hard to explain to a lot of people though. I think you've taught me enough to kind of see it, and I've kind of shown you some of it because I tried to show you lots of different stuff, you know.
Yeah, which you know, being from both the Tekken and Soul Calibur background. I don't believe you have still play on it.
Right, but I'll show you it'll work, right? But that's the hard part. So the hard part when showing this to the Namco player though, is they think you're like memeing them. They think you're being an ass. And I was like, no, I found the situation where this works pretty good, and I'm doing it. They're like, how dare you hit me with a 30 frame attack? You know, and it's like, you know, it's like this is VF.
Okay, y'all are being pricks today. I was like, all right.
Yeah. Well, no, but it's because I think Tekken teaches you through hard knocks, dude. Tekken really teaches you through hard knocks. Like, this is the right answer. This is the right answer. This is the right answer. VF, it's like, you know, but what was the hard part about learning VF? Every time you asked a high-level player, like, how do you use this? It depends. My opponent's beating me. What do I do? It depends. You know? It's like, they're like, wait, I just want to beat this guy. Well, what are they doing? Like, what are they doing? And you're like, well, I think they're doing this, this, and this. Well, you can do this. Okay, but what about that? Well, okay, yeah, that, but if they're doing that. So, like, again, it depends. And then you're like, oh, give me an answer, right? But Tekken, it's like, first, learn how to oppress. So that then learn how to break free of the oppression, right? You know? And then it's like...
There are systematic answers for things. Same thing with SoCal, they're systematic, right? And when I came here, I'm like, I can move and everything like that. It doesn't feel repressive like on the surface, but when you go deeper into it, that's when you start getting stressed.
Ready, go!
You get like the mad stress on that, you know?
Yeah.
The veins, you can't overconsume in one area. And like, it took me a minute to understand that. Like, if I get too evade happy, there's punishment to be evaded.
Yeah.
Right? Or if I'm too happy, you know, it's a right blend of everything.
Well, it's like, you want to know what the recipe for a rude awakening is in VF? When one of the players is like, I figured you out. And so, or like, I know what to do against you. It's like, okay, show it. And then, yeah, they win that round. And then after that, like, get totally upended because the other player just switched the plan. They're like, what? Why are you doing something different? It's like, well, what you did was beating what I was doing, so now I'm doing something different. You know, and it's like, you know, and again, it sounds obvious for fighting games, but VF is very rude about this. VF is very direct about this. Yeah. Sorry, but yeah. So Kashif had said VF5 is such a good game. I trust the team with whatever they do with VF6. What I do want to say, and it's very encouraging, is that from the interviews that have come out and the art featurette that came out about VF6, what we know is there's a lot of new devs at Sega that are working on VF6, but they even brought in an old veteran to kind of be like more of like that expert voice from the past, and I do believe they've got a lot of older people that work at Sega that are also contributing. So I think what we get to see with VF6 is one, it looks like the team is bigger than I would have expected them to have for it, and two, it's a very diverse team. There's a lot of new people with new ideas, but there's also a lot of that they respect and have some of the old guys coming in saying, hey, it's not that I want you to remake VF, but this is like, these are the things that are really important to carry over, and it's gotta have certain good traits there. But I think so far I'm very optimistic. They've really given me signs to believe that this is going to be really new but also really cool, but that this is still at some essence very much Virtua Fighter. But this is where but you know, we need Virtua Fighter of the future. We don't need Virtua Fighter of the past. And I'm okay with that because the VF legacy allows me to be at peace, because there's a VF of the past that still exists and is still supported. And I hope it will still keep being supported, but we'll see what happens. But look at what they've done with REVO. I'm really happy, and we have been teaching new players for the last 5 years. We've had newer and newer players learning Virtua Fighter. So, and it coincides with a time when, with all the downsides of COVID, the upside was that there was a whole new generation of people just learning fighting games, and the amount that people understand fighting games now is pretty deep, actually. And so a lot of what I say is making sense to a lot of people, or will make sense to them, you know. And that's it's very different. From in the past, I had to really dumb down the way I'm talking about this game. Like, I mean, some people might go, well, Chanchai talks more about the enemy. It's like, well, I'm responding to how people are asking, and I'm responding to the things that are confusing them right now. But I am talking about advanced stuff too. But in the past, I had to go way below this. I had to go really at the core, at the very beginner stuff, and I had to do it like over and over because that's what people were hung up on. But now there's a lot of people that really understand where this goes on a deeper level, and so it's been very exciting, just interacting with people about fighting games, loving them more, but also more and more of them actually understanding Virtua Fighter. And
yeah, I feel now that like the Revo generation learned this game a lot faster than
even Ultimate Showdown.
Yeah, the Ultimate Showdown generation, because it took us a minute. Like, they're learning it like quick. And almost to the level of like, okay, there's something I'm struggling with, like one computer doing one, like, you know, like a computer. I'm like, what's that?
So, Tali asks a good question. Is VF the hardest fighting game, or is that a myth? I think it's a misunderstanding, but I think it's because, you know, games are games, right? And I don't think it's the hardest fighting game first. But what I would say is there's a couple things that make it challenging in its own way, right? So what you're saying, the frequency of the mind games, how much that, like, you're not waiting for a turn and then make them guess. No, you're guessing right now. And you're guessing again the next moment. And you're guessing again the next moment.
Yeah.
You're making decision points each interaction. So there's a lot of game where it's like their turn, their turn, their turn, my turn, my turn, my turn, their turn, their turn, their turn, my turn, my turn, my turn. That's a lot of fighting games that do this. Virtua Fighter, you can't even do that, but technically, first think of their turn, my turn, their turn, my turn. Kind of. Except in VF, even when it's quote unquote their turn, I'm still making decisions. So it's just decision at a faster rate than their turn, my turn, their turn, my turn.
Like the risk reward system,
like, you know. There's a very good reason to attack when you're minus in this game. Very good reason. Simply because you think they're gonna throw you. You know, simply because you think you can, not just because you think you can crush them, right? Mids are hard to crush, but because they're going to want to throw you. Why would they want to throw you? Well, because they think you're going to defend. So it goes into this rock, paper, scissors loop. But the thing is when two people play rock, paper, scissors, are they taking turns? No. They are doing it at the same time. They are guessing at the same time. VF is like that. And so, like...
I think the lesson that you've taught me, though, was, like, you know, shifting your mental state, or shifting gears.
Yeah.
So that does come to play, too, you know.
It does because I think something that Virtua Fighter does a good job of, at the high level, is it lets you play... You can, if you're the type of person who likes to force people to guess, you can play that way. If you're the type of person who likes to quote-unquote outplay with skill, you want to, like, if they make a mistake, I want to be there to punish it. If I know how to defend really well, I'm going to make it so they can't hit me or they can't hurt me. You can actually do this in VF, but you will have to ultimately guess at certain points, but you generally can do this. And then I'm the type of person who likes to outspeed people and make them, like, think fast, and if they think slow, I'm going to win. You can do that. If you're the type of person who likes to slow people down, you can do that with any character. You can do all these things in this game. But then the difference between you and the opponent is going to matter on these different ways of fighting. And so sometimes fighting one way against this opponent will be better, and then sometimes against a different opponent you have to fight the other way. And that's not because of the game, that's because of, and not just because of you, it's because of you versus the opponent. So this game lets you do all this, like, a lot, all the time, frequently. And so this is kind of hard thing to get because this gets deeper. That said, let me get back to the original question. So the other thing though is that because VF plays a little differently, functionally, than a lot of other fighters, I've had an easier time teaching VF to people who never played fighting games than to people who did play fighting games, because the person that has played fighting games, teaching them to input early to buffer feels very weird when you come from fighting games that punish you for doing that. A lot of fighting games want you to input on time. They want you to wait for the right moment and then input the button. And if you're too early, nothing comes out. And if you're late, that could be kind of bad. Virtua Fighter, it's a little good or a little bad, but it's like, but it encourages you to actually input early. It has a bias towards inputting early because you can master inputting late in various ways. But if you don't input early in this game, there's a high chance you'll be too late, and when you're too late, your opponent's attacks are better than yours. So and if they are the ones playing fast and early, then you have a higher chance of losing to that. So when you come from other fighting games, buffering is kind of weird. It's like counterintuitive. And a lot of times when I teach Tekken players VF, they really don't want to buffer. I explain it to them, I show them, I do drills with them. At their core, they have a primal fear that they're going to play Tekken later and it's gonna mess them up. They have a primal fear that they'll input too early and drop stuff.
It's a weird thing. Like once you get to the buffering, because there's buffering in like Tekken, and a lot of people don't know that. Once you get to VF and go back to Tekken, you start like, oh wow, let me just buffer this, and I'm like, oh, it's not a bad thing. It just feels bad when you've been playing other fighters, but it's not a bad thing.
Right. So this is kind of like when you're going between musical instruments or playing different sports, and there are certain things that are just kind of done a little differently. When you get to the fundamentals, they're similar, but when you get to certain execution, it can be like what one game said was a bad habit suddenly is a good habit in another game. This creates some friction in your sense, and if you can sort those, it's good, but if you can't sort that, it can be frustrating. But when you're learning a new game, this is the fear. The thing is, a lot of people want to learn a new fighting game because they feel it's going to make them better at the one that they're already playing. And so, but when they get the feeling that it's going to make them worse at the game they're playing, that's very scary. That's terrifying, right? So this is always a hard part for somebody that's playing multiple fighting games. Is this sense that is this game going to make me worse? And I don't think VF will make you worse, but I do think that in the learning process there might be some friction a little bit. But at some point you'll be able to do the two. You really will. It just like playing. If you can play multiple characters, it's the same deal, right? You play character 1, this one plays fast. You play character 2, this one plays slow, right? That didn't mess you up. That didn't make you a worse player. It might have temporarily made you a worse player, but in the long run, you're able to do these things. That's similar with going between fighting games too. So, and Guilty Gear players have never had this complaint because they play a game where every character is their own system. So I'm just like, okay, they're just like, well, I played multiple characters. That's like playing multiple fighting games in one. That's Guilty Gear. But with the Tekken players, when I've taught them and tried to empathize with them, I've kind of sensed this frustration from them, and so I try to work with it and I try to help them manage through it and also overcome it so that it's not an issue. But I talk about it because I've realized this has been the most common thing that was like the hang up, right? But some people just realize, oh, cool. Okay, so also there are games that have good logic but might not be intuitive. And then there are games that are very intuitive and maybe the logic is good but they're less interesting, right? And there are games but let's talk about the intuitiveness. Virtua Fighter tends to appeal to people that like things that have a quote-unquote logic. So this is kind of why the nerds or the players that like to study the fighting game, by system, right? And understand a system in and out as opposed to just the stories or just this is what this guy does, but more oh, this is how this game works. These types of players, people that tend to analyze top down, tend to like Virtua Fighter. Not always, but they tend to. And then the players that tend, but a lot of fighting games are normally taught from the bottom up, and are normally taught like, okay, start with this character, do this, do this, do this. Okay, don't do that, don't do that. That's the more common way to teach anything, sports. Now, when you teach in a system, when you learn something more academically, it's typically taught top down. So when you go to university, a lot of stuff is taught top down. When you enroll in a tennis school, or you enroll in a sports science or a sports program, that might be taught top down. That might be, this is why you train, look at your life, this is how you become an athlete, it's your health, it's your mental, it's technique, it's all of these things. It's a top down. But learning from the bottom up is the more intuitive way to learn, and how a lot of people learn games, because they just learn by playing, and how they talk to each other, because it's easier to talk one topic at a time, starting with the character matchup and up, right? Talking top down, they're like, well, if I can't see it, this system doesn't mean anything to me, right? Unless you've already learned unless you already use this approach to learning in general. Some people do that. Some people don't. And a lot of the people that learn top down are not good at explaining things to the people that really need it bottom up. I talk top down a lot, but I do try to relate to the person directly and go bottom up a little bit with them. But then you'll see me repeat, and you'll see me try to loop it back into the top down too, because I'm trying to help them with both of this. Because in my view, that's how you got to teach people based on the student, and you got to try to work with them and try to observe what catches their attention and what doesn't, and observe what's clicking and what doesn't. So I try to. That's what I try to do. And so I think people that tend to look top down could sometimes have seen really like the way VF is. They're like, oh, that sounds so clean. And that's why they sometimes overstate the system aspects of the game when they talk about why they like it more, right? Some other players, even bottoms up players, they kind of get it, they feel it, but they don't know it yet. Like, they just like, something about this game tells me like things just kind of work, but I don't know. But it seems like that, you know? And so they like the idea of VF also. But this is less intuitive. VF does a lot of things for system reasons, for big picture reasons, but they might not be as intuitive. And so VF tends to be, for beginners, tends to be slow and clunky. Now, I do think Final Showdown and Revo do look beautiful even if you're a beginner. I think Virtua Fighter 3 looks really ugly if you're a beginner, and then as you got better, it looks more and more beautiful, that game. I think Virtua Fighter 2 was a big success because at that time, no matter what level of skill you were at, it looked really pretty for that time. Virtua Fighter 4 stressed this and really tried to be beautiful no matter what. Even if two really bad players were playing, it still looked and flowed beautifully, more intuitively appreciative. You could appreciate it in a more intuitive way. So I think that was cool too. That said, nowadays modern audience also want it to be more visceral because we've gone beyond just the technical. We now need art to be advanced, needs to be stimulating, and everything looks beautiful now. So fighting games. Go ahead, yeah.
Yeah, you're right. Freaking everything has to have a balance. It has to be pretty. Man.
Yeah. Thanks. I enjoyed this chat. I want to let you speak whatever you want to say before I cut this off.
I really appreciate the sparring. That's all I'm about to say. I thank you for the sparring because we haven't sparred in a while. I just wanted to see in my mind, I wanted to see if I actually improved. You know.
You improve a lot. So you do improve a lot, right? You make adjustments. Today, it's more just observing how you approach to the fight. The funny thing is, right, in the matchup for today, you gave me the hardest time when you were trying really hard to just try something different. So what that meant was that the slower approach strategically was the thing that was working better against me. That said, doesn't mean you always play slower. Your adjustments are good. I'm always trying to stay a step ahead of you. That said, you know, the downside, we talked about this before, the tricky thing when you're playing Vanessa is she's a detail-oriented character. Like she's trying to fight with precision. So that does also mean that when you're searching for answers with Vanessa, it's like you're searching sometimes for narrower answers. They hit hard. You know, you're trying to jam the needle as far as possible, right? And so you need this high level of precision, and they hit hard. But this also means that like sometimes your opponent just has to make a simple adjustments to kind of move you into.
There's a lot of added stress on the Vanessa because you have a lot of tools too.
Yeah, and Leon has a lot of tools. So Leon really keeps changing the challenge, and this is where the Vanessa player gets kind of stressed a bit. But at the same time, Vanessa has high damage potential. So as long as you kind of simplify it back to how to get that big damage, it's pretty good. So for you, you're a player that's capable, that's actually aware enough to be pretty detailed, but at the same time, and we'll call that the micro. But sometimes the changes you need to make are just macro changes. But you're likely to be making micro changes, and that's a trick with Vanessa. That's like the challenge because her move list is the way it is. Whereas like but you've taken time to play Jackie and you've played Wolf, right? And have you realized that with Jackie, sometimes it's just simply switching from attack to defend was like really it, all you had to really do, you know? And then like with Wolf, it's similar, like switching between attack and throw, and that's all you had to do. Right, but with like Vanessa, you're kind of like but with Vanessa, you're kind of like, well, now I don't want to do the elbow, but maybe I want to do this kick, you know. And so what I would say is sometimes the answer might be switching to throw as opposed to changing which attack you do. You know, and then sometimes, and the way you simplify it the way the other characters do, it's hard, but you just go back to the mids, and you just go like and then you just go, this is just a matter of attack versus throw, you know. And so sometimes and that's why the mid is, when we're talking about attack versus throw, we're really talking about mid versus throw, right? Because if you have advantage, it's mid, and you win by frame advantage. Vanessa, because you're hard countering what I'm doing, it's really good. This is a skill of yours. I don't want you to take that skill away. And so it is more about, okay, could I have used a tool like her knee launcher more? Just on the frame advantage, right? But a lot of times you and I are fighting over a +3 or a +4 or a +5, you know what I mean? And so this is why it's kind of hard to give you the advice on this.
Yeah, the cruel dance is kind of like the positioning more so in the tool is a little bit harder.
But it's also because we're having so much fun. You and I are having a lot of fun using a lot of different moves. That's fun. That's VF. But that's also why it's really good that you mix in your training with like Wolf and with Jackie, because I think you are improving on the macro quite a bit actually. Your throw is where it's easier to see, but I think but I would say actually for you, it's actually between attack and defense, and it's one where I would say with Vanessa's, basically here's the challenge. Try to be more precise with your precision tools. That sounds dumb, but what do I mean? I mean try to use them less, but with the high success rate. Okay. Use your 1P less. Use your 1P less, but try to use it for a very specific correct read. But instead of the 1P again, understand you had a small advantage. What was the mid attack you could have used with that advantage? You know, and then from there, make it into a mix-up between mid attack and throw after you hit them with the 1P, right? This is because right now you're just trying to stop me from doing a low attack. That's a narrow option. It was good for one time, but it should have cashed you out. It should have cashed you out for a bigger decision. What's the bigger decision? Launcher versus throw, right? Or, you know, and it could be, so like defense stance 1P, right? If you the problem with Sabaki is it's a weird type of hit. So 1P gave you just a +2. That kind of sucks. +4 on counter hit, right? So okay, but again, you have what's a 14 frame attack, right? Now of course Leon, you're worried about jab, but I wouldn't.
With 14 frames, the only thing I have is 4 people's K.
Yeah, well 4 people's K, but you also have let me see.
6K is 15.
Yeah, that's right with her. But you also have what's the wall standing punch?
Enthroning,
it's 13 frames, right? Yeah, so if you learn how to crouch dash buffer that, it's 14 frames. And so, no, this thing no longer crumples, or no longer staggers, huh? Does it stagger on counter hit? No, yeah. Yeah, so aim at doing that. Aim at doing that. Just do aim at doing that, trust me. So you want to get good, this is hard, but you want to get good at the crouch dash buffer. So the way to get good at this, against the AI, I want you to do high jab into the wall standing punch. I'll show it on my, do you see my screen? Okay, so we go to training mode, right? Okay, set. Obviously this will fail against high jab, but that's okay. You get good at reverse Nitaku when they high jab you. Or against Leon, against the 11 frame jabs. But let's say, it's here, right? So against 12 frame, it'll win, right? And so, this is hard, but basically, so what we'll do is guard and counterattack. No, 12 frame jab. This is not going to work against, right? Oh, sorry, this is so dumb. I have to click my mouse onto this screen. So the awesome thing is that on the graphics settings, right? I do like that they have borderless. The downside to borderless, got to click your mouse in, otherwise it does this stupid thing. So, right?
Yeah.
This is hard, but this is 13. Jeez, that's hard. Yeah.
The way I learned is using 4P and to do that.
Yeah.
It's a lot more time.
So
because you can do it that way, you just sometimes get stuff pretty quickly.
But
I know that method, but it's tough.
I do think you gotta I do think you should master this though, because it's really important.
Yeah.
So see the motion that I'm doing?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, because you want to master this. This is such a good move. Honestly, this is really good.
The final technique.
Yeah. And if you mess it up, you might accidentally get the faster uppercut, right? And that's okay if you get the uppercut. But I think, yeah, there's this weird thing to that, but mastering this one is really good. If you could master the speed of doing this technique to where it's natural, this is just so good. And then ultimately you just want to be able to do this, because then you'll counter hit with this, and then you'll be like
double stagger, and then it goes for big damage.
Right, and so in this case we're just gonna cheat and do the counter hit here. But the problem is the timing on this. Oh no, this timing is actually easy because it's buffered. So on counter hit, this is easier. But of course, the problem is normal hit, right? Normal hit's hard.
Those two.
But generally, this is really good. Because when you Sabaki... Well, let's test this out.
Sabaki's +1. I looked at that wrong.
+2, right?
Yeah.
But yeah, this is not too bad. If you want to test this out, or if you want to get used to the timing of this, this is not the perfect drill, but you can do this. Just to kind of build it in. So you set it to guard and counterattack too, and that way when you like hit them, you can do this, right? And then you just kind of get used to the feeling of like getting this thing off right away. And so they're gonna block it, but it's still good to do. And then you train yourself to fuzzy guard after it too. Okay, like because this is higher upside, and this is much safer to do. And also this move, they have a risk of like failed evade when you do this because of the crouch dash buffer, because of the delay. So just keep practicing this, you know, and then practice the fuzzy guard after, like when it's blocked. Right. Like, I mean, I'm giving you this as a generic answer. Obviously, this might not be the best answer, but this is like a better. I think this is something you should build into your game, only because, well, this is a good move. At 13 frames, 14 effectively because of the crouch dash buffer. But it's really like, and then you also get building this fuzzy guard, which is really good. And then you'll get used to responding when you actually do get the stagger, right? What do you do when they stagger though?
When you can do them at 3-3P.
Oh, you just do it again?
Yeah. So you do the cross fast, like the cross fast 3-3P, and you know the 3-inch will be like and it'll go into a combo.
Huh, really? That's quite of a deep crouch dash.
It's a deep dash, so.
I see. So you gotta do a deep crouch dash?
Yeah.
Okay, the good thing then is
that. Like, you can do K as well, like then too, like freaking.
Oh, okay, yeah, that's actually good.
Yeah, you can do K as well, and then like convert off of that if they're not like staggering well. But like that's the easier way. But the advanced way is the cross dash to the cross dash, and that takes a minute because you're getting them to the wall a little bit more, especially on the wall stage. I think I was taught by like a couple of Vanessas at Texas Showdown, and I think our panda taught me that too. Like to do that a little bit more. But yeah, it's like you do that, then you do a deep dash, then you know I call it deep dash, but like.
What do I do after this one? Oh, okay, that's really
PPK.
Okay.
Or that.
But yeah, actually, that was really good.
It's very time consuming. You have to practice it like a bunch of times, and you're just like, And the time limit is like strict, so like you can't like falter on that. You have to be really very instant.
Like my gut wants to do an elbow right there, but it's not. It's okay there.
Yeah, so like basically I'll just do PPK or you know like just end it with a shoulder.
And then that's what happens if you input jab too early.
Like I preferred the 4P better because you have more time to do the cross dash buffer.
Yeah, I see.
And like if someone's trying to do an elbow, you can challenge it better.
Yeah.
Because like I understand what you're saying. I understand the concept of it too. It's a hell of a tough advance move.
Right. Well, the other thing you can do, if you think they're gonna attack, you just backdash evade. But the problem is, it's like, let's see, like this, and that's because you're throwing away the frames. So you're like, if you think that they're like to attack, but again, that's throwing away a lot of frames when you actually have frame advantage. And actually, what you really want to do was that if they defended after this, then you want to just throw them, you know, like this. you want to get to this is what you want. You want to make them defend. And so by doing this over and over, it's kind of less likely. But if you like got them to eventually defend because you're doing this, because if you eventually get to like this, then you want to get to kind of like this, right? And then this is really a bigger deal. This is like the reward you're aiming for, is to make them want to defend.
Okay.
Because you want to get them to this part. And then, but then if you successfully do this, you're waiting for them to start attacking. And then when they do, you know, then you kind of get back into this. You know what I mean? And that's why this is a powerful, that's why mix-up is strong. And Sabaki puts them on the back foot, so they're more likely to respond slowly to it. Because if they weren't expecting to get Sabaki. At higher level, they've had enough experience to where they can react to being Sabaki, but still, you know. But you want to just, but this position then is really strong because now you're just doing this, right? And again, it's actually, they have to commit to doing their lowest damage attack to punish this. So this is not a big risk. This is a very high reward. If you're good at comboing with this move, this is a very high reward for such a very low risk thing to do after your Sabaki. And then, again, what your real aim is to get them is to be able to throw them, because eventually they may start to like evade and stuff like that. So then you kind of read them. This is getting good at the guessing game, but this is also messing with them because Sabaki is very disruptive. And so the real strength of this is really getting them into that. Now, of course, the weakness then is they just fuzzy guard. Okay, well, you know, then you just kind of low throw, you know? If they really choose to fuzzy guard, like, that is actually your final goal, is to get them to fuzzy guard after getting hit by this thing, you know? And I'll try to start fuzzy guarding more to train you on it, but yeah. Because if they get this, then they can just crouch dash guard and still, and it works pretty good if you were committed.
Yeah. And then too, like, it's been a while since we sparred, like, one-on-one for a minute anyway, too. So, good, you know, it's a good breather. Understand, like, okay, what I'm lacking, what I actually have done, and what I need to learn.
So her 14 frame move is which one?
Is 4 people's K.
Okay. This one, yeah. This one got me good though.
Yeah, it's pretty strange, especially on like when I've started doing, like, people like to break side turns a lot. Since I'm +2 on that, I can actually do a 4 people's K and like actually challenge that and be like, all right, cool. You know?
This thing launches. This is good.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is worth doing. This is worth doing. What you're doing with this is worth doing. It's a high though, so at some point this is very vulnerable.
Yeah, it's more of a power tool anyway, but you know, basically, like, it's a good way to like steal my turn.
But it's definitely.
It can sneak through some highs, but not all.
Yeah, but it is fun, you know, doing this then. You'll be surprised how much this works, but you have to really test your opponent. Like, this will just never work on some people because they will always do something else, and usually because they know, but it is fun when you mess with them. You know, especially, okay, so like, let's say you kind of get them stuck. Yeah, even like this. this could really mess some people up.
Yeah, like, it's something I've learned, like, just by just playing, which is kind of strange. I was just like, well, like, I was playing with it a lot, and I was like getting told not to use it that much.
Well, you don't want to get reliant on it, because this is why I crushed you a lot. But again, you just managed that. It's still, this is a good high reward. What's the combo?
For the 4 people's K?
Yeah.
I think you usually do 4 people's K, just 6 people's. My mind is not working right now.
Okay.
But like, my apologies. Like, when it comes to combo, I know it like just by reflex. But when you ask me, it's just like I told you, it's like, My apologies.
No problem.
I'm working on like so many things there, but usually I do 6 PPK there. Because you can't really bound after that, hardly. Or like 6, you know. Yeah, you can't really just like do hook on that. So basically it's just like when they're airable, like 6 PPK or PPK, and just like end it for a situation. You know, there might be more. It's just like freaking. I'll just probably just like I said, I might do it in a battle situation, but I wouldn't know the science of it.
Right. I mean, this is 70 damage just doing 6 PKK. Like jab into 6 PKK is like 70 damage about. So. Yeah, stream's gonna end soon because I gotta take my daughter out for her birthday, for dinner. Her birthday was 2 days ago, but today's the family time to go out, so I do have to go now. My wife is gonna be like, "What the hell is up with you?" But
thank you for the sparring. Now, I really do appreciate it.
Thank you very much. I had a great time with everybody, and I think you're playing again. You are playing really, really well. I'm just too damn good. No, I'm just kidding. But it's like you're doing really good stuff like this. You're doing some complicated stuff, which is good. You never want to take that away. But the challenge is finding like, and again, because it's Vanessa, she's so detail oriented, is finding kind of like sometimes ways to dial it back on a simpler level. But again, now I see why you're using this move is so good because it's 14 frames. That's really good. So because it's 14 frames, then it's like, okay, but what do we do when they start crushing? Well, now you beat them up with the other thing, with the mid, right?
Yeah.
Because now they're doing a bari, right? And so it's okay. It's totally good to use this where you're using it, as long as you eventually start punishing the response to it. Because the natural answer to this is to crush this. Well, okay, Vanessa's like, well, I wanted you to crush it. So what's her best launcher? What's her best mid or low or EX mid launcher at defense stance?
EX mid?
Like, what's her biggest launcher?
I would say like 4 people's pay or hook.
Okay, well, this is high, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
She don't really have good mid launchers. So I think you could say it's like maybe hook for rounded. Like if you're going airborne, but like she doesn't have really good launcher. Everything is counter hit launchers.
I see.
Like everything she does is counter hit launchers. Like shoulders, launch dagger.
Well, yeah. Okay, what's her best counter hit launcher?
4 people's K.
Okay, but I'm saying mid. That's not a high.
Mid. 3-3 Horizon P. Horizon P.
This one? Okay, oh yeah, okay, so we're already doing that then. So in the future, after you do this, then you want to do that, right?
Yeah, so Horizon P. You could say G2P.
Right, this one?
Like, that's weave.
Okay, so just make sure you're building up your ability to do this while standing punch then, because this is so good. And it's really important. Once you get this down though, this is actually a very strong thing for her to do. So, like in the same situation where you're like doing that, yeah. I do like that this thing will stop a lot of highs and lows, but you want to be, what you're trying to do is you're trying to cash into this, but then the reason is because this thing mixes perfectly with throw. If they evade, you throw. If they guard, you throw, right? And I don't think that they've got like a Sabaki for this kind of thing. Maybe. So yeah, so definitely practice this while standing P. And then just like on the side, it doesn't have to be in your ranked matches, but do it against the AI, build it into where it's comfortable, And against the training mode's really good for this particular type of practice. When you get the 1P into that, you know, the good thing is as long as you hit them with the 1P, and then but then of course you've got to do. Now, if they block 1P, what do you do? If they block 1P, what is it that you like to do?
I'll just grab, like, literally just either grab or like freaking try to like.
You try to throw at -8?
Yeah, I try to throw.
When you're -8?
Try not to, but that's that thing.
Okay, yeah.
Like,
so here's what you got to do when you're -8. You're standard. I know that as Vanessa, you have attacks that can win in defense stance, but your standard is actually you should do guard throw escape if you don't know what they're gonna do. The more that you are convinced that they're gonna do like a launcher, you should then do evade throw escape guard. Okay?
Okay.
So if they block this, you need to be playing the reverse Nitaku. Now, first step of reverse Nitaku is master your defense option. So, for your case right now, practice doing evade guard throw escape. Okay? When you do the evade guard throw escape, though, if you do the evade, you need to like do the guard throw escape at the time that you recover. Do you know why? The reason is because if you do the guard throw escape too early, you will cancel the evade input with the guard. And then so what'll happen is you'll just block. But I want you to get good at evading because if they do a launcher, I want you to kind of punish them, you know. So watch, I'm going to set the CPU to guard and counterattack 5. And we're going to say the throw direction is, I think it's back. Okay? And I'm just doing evade throw escape back. Now, if I hit the guard too early, I will not evade this dashing elbow. Okay? But if I hit the evade on time, if I hit the guard in time, just like when I'm recovering, then I'll be okay. So I want you to practice this technique. We're doing evade and we're doing throw escape in one, and if they're really slow, we're guarding. Eventually, you would like to do evade cancel into the back throw escape, but this is kind of hard. So just do evade guard throw escape first. And notice that I can do the throw escape late. And that's what I like, see? I'm doing it very late. Because what we want to do when we're practicing this technique is we do not want to be guarding that dashing elbow. We want to be evading the dashing elbow or throw escaping. Well, you know, based on what they do. Practice this drill. Okay, and now we're going to change Akira to do forward. So now we're going to practice evade, throw, escape, forward.
I want your wife to kill you either, so like, you know.
Yeah, no problem. But we know we're doing it wrong if we hit the guard before we've recovered. Do you see that? And why? What happens if we hit the guard before we recover?
Stay in place. Throw.
Then we end up guarding instead of evading.
Yeah.
So we want to make sure that with this technique we're evading and we're doing throw escape. And you see that I'm not perfect at this either.
Yeah.
Because sometimes I'm hitting that guard too early. But I actually don't need to rush the guard the throw escape. I can really wait until I see those arms throw like Tekken. Once you get used to that. But practice this. You should be doing either guard throw escape should be your default defense when this thing is blocked. Your secondary defense is because you think they're going to attack. You think they're going to do a big attack, not a small attack. You think they're going to do a big attack. So when you think that, you're like, I'm going to evade because I want to evade punish that thing, right? And so you're like, I'm going to evade. That's why evade throw escape is really good. And see how I screwed it up twice in a row. So I'm doing this drill to remind myself I did the guard throw escape too early. Or maybe I inputted the evade too early. That's possible too. And now I'm not even evading in time. Something happened. Or no, I didn't. Okay, so the thing is now I'm seeing that I'm evading too early. I'm evading before the 12 frame input buffer. So practice this, okay? Master the feeling of it. The thing about the 1P is that it's got enough of a guard stun when they block it that you kind of have to not evade too early either. And that kind of sucks too. So like it's very possible to input evade too early and nothing comes out because you inputted like 15 frames before recovery instead of 12 frames, right? And evade is very likely to do this because evade is like 2 inputs, up and neutral, down and neutral, right? So keep practicing this, build this technique, because now guard throw escape, you don't know if they're going to attack or throw. Evade throw escape, you don't know, but you think they're going to evade, or no, you think they're going to try to do a launcher. Because the biggest punish to a launcher is not guarding it and punishing it, it's evading and punishing it. And then and that's actually how you can, like, you know, if Akira does like really big attack, this has got to be pretty big for Akira to do. Let's see here. This is so dumb. Okay, so like if Akira does that, right, then I can get this for free. Right? So this is when you evade a launcher, you can do this move. So, you know. So yeah, if you guard a launcher, you might get a PK punish, but well, you do get the 4P plus K, but normal hit, I don't know how good this move is. Does the combo really good on normal hit too? No. Okay, but you get this move when you evade like a big attack. This is actually her punisher, which it's really good when she ducks a high attack, but it's also really good when she evades a big ass attack. And so eventually that's, you know, what you want to do. But well, she has other stuff too, but that one is definitely the way to get that thing to launch. But work on your defense when people guard the 1P, but the main things was what we talked about earlier. So yeah, I make it more confusing the deeper I go. But anyways, I'll catch you later.
It's just I understand. Just
okay, cool.
1P evade, you know, throw escape.
Yeah.
Basically.
Yeah, well, evade cancel on the throw escape is really good, but basically you're -8, so your only defensive options is guard, and you might as well do a throw escape if you do that. And then the more you think that they're gonna launch, try to punish with evade. That is probably your big project right now, is try to improve your evade. Saying it as evade confirm is a little extreme, but it's also exactly what I want you to work on. But I don't want you to be so tough on yourself. I want you to go, okay, I can get like PPK or something when I evade this. But then try to find the targets when you can get 3P plus K. Just work on that, even if you fail. Not because you're trying, just to build your experience. Oh, when I evade that early. And the thing is though with evade though, if you evade something late, it's less advantage. If you evade it early, it's more advantage. So if you evade it early, and here's the cool thing, when you're -8, you're evading it usually around the middle, okay? But if you happen, so in the case of the 1P, when you evade there, just try to 1P against the AI, and when you hit with it, try to do the rising punch, and when you get when it's guarded, try to do evade throw escape, and then like when you evade something big, try to get a launcher. Just practice that, and don't be upset whether you get it right or wrong. Just kind of build the experience. Just build the experience. Yeah, because this is gonna, in the long term, is gonna really pay dividends for you too. And I do think you've evaded some pretty big moves. So now we're just stepping it up so that you can start getting really big rewards from those, and then starting to get the full sense of all of the things Vanessa can do when she evades, you know, and just get it through experience. Try the fasting. So, is PPK guaranteed if punch hits? Punch kick. Is it guaranteed like from the side? I'll take a look.
On something plus 12.
Yeah. Even plus 12. Yeah. Just assume you got like a plus 12. Okay. So on recovery hit, this thing is guaranteed, probably. But so on side hit, it probably is. Nope. But you get PK at least. Okay.
Yeah.
So okay. So with Vanessa, PK. Now the problem is the mids, right? But the mids are good. Side kick is good, but side kick you need to be plus 4, right? But yeah, just try doing simple answers. However, but then just try to get a sense. Try to let yourself be greedy. Don't be upset. But if you evade something really big like a launcher, then try doing it. Just see if you can get away with doing 3 people's K. It's so good, right? Because then you have like, you know, big combos with her with this. And that'll increase your defensive threat. And I think increasing your defensive threat is gonna be big for you. So yeah. Anyways, thanks a lot. I'll catch you later, and I had a good time with everyone. Thank you all so much. And yeah, I need to take a shower. So, all right, cheers. Cheers. And Blurring, bless you and thank you. I had a wonderful time.
Likewise. It's been so long since we sparred.
Yeah, let's spar some more. That's usually on my end. That's not happening enough, but yeah. So I'm not blaming you.
Due to my work schedule, so sometimes I just never really have the time to ask because I know you're always busy with work, right?
Yeah. So
actually be in queue or make a schedule.
Indeed, but feel free to send when you feel like it. Just feel free to send messages as you always do. It never bothers me. It's just more like, oh, I can't. Yeah, I can. You know? All right, so we got people that are streaming VF right now. We've got Hectic Fall. We've also got VF5REVO, of course, is always awesome. But I do want to give support to Hectic Fall. And we will always give support to Hayato when we can, but let's do Hectic Fall. Let's be very encouraging and cheer them on. And yeah. So here comes the raid to Hectic Fall.
Round 3. Ready, go!
Hey, my pleasure on the stream. Thank you guys so much. You guys really made it a lot of fun too. So just had a wonderful time with Blurring and with you guys. Thank you so much.
Yeah, I need to go food myself now.
I'm feeling so hungry.
Yeah, I didn't know we were fighting that long until I looked at the time. Like, oh wow, yeah, I need food.
It's, you know, I spar a lot, but I also chat a lot too.
Me too. Yeah, I was just like, well, I know you're talking to chat, so keep working it.
Absolutely. The funny thing is, my daughter's the one using the term yapping, so I guess all of her friends accuse her of yapping so much. And then when we were in Washington, Pasadena, it was just like, it was like she's like a little you, you know, because she's so talkative. All right, catch you later.